Welcome to This Week in the SFL, Season 20, Week 14 edition. Along with Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine, and you smell that, Paul? It smells like playoff time. We have one game left in the regular season and 167 down and in the books. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing great, Cam, and what another great weekend of some SFL action. We had playoff hopefuls punching their ticket into the offseason. We've had playoff hopefuls finding out they're missing the playoffs and headed to the offseason. It was a great weekend, and I'm excited to be here to wrap it all up with you for one of the last times here in the regular season in Season 20.
Yep, this is the last episode of This Week in the SFL this season. We had a great run, Paul. It was a really exciting show, and we'll see everybody in the playoffs. Maybe we'll do some bonus videos breaking things down. You never know what's going to happen here at SFL HQ. But for now, let's get to the headlines from the last week of the SFL's 20th anniversary regular season. We start with the Baltimore Vultures. Bumps in the road. They're 1-2 in their last 3 games. We've been here before, or is dominance gone for the 3-time defending champs? I wouldn't count your chickens too quickly. Atlanta, well, they got two games of clearance because they are just rolling. They dump 45 on Florida. They pull away from the rest of the league, and they are no doubt your number 1 seed in this season's playoffs. Close but not enough. San Diego and Louisiana manage winning records, but they join the 7-5 club of non-qualifiers for the playoffs. Always difficult to see something like that, Paul, but that is the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Most definitely, and my hearts go out to San Diego and Louisiana because they both had great seasons. Just the strength of victory just wasn't enough for them, and just very slightly missed the playoffs. But I'm sure headed in the future, we will see them here soon again in the playoffs.
Skippy Curtis and the Carolina Skyhawks are also still celebrating. $4.99 Super Chat. Carolina, baby. We in the playoffs, and we'll get to the Carolina Skyhawks and all that they accomplished a little bit later in the show. But we start over there in Maryland, where the DC Dragons, just before the end of the half, were doing big things, going up 21-6. Shabazz Synergy to Josh Gill in the back of the end zone. DC has really struggled against Baltimore the last 2 years, but they are finding their footing here in this one until Ivory Irvin on the kick return from the 1-yard line. And Irvin is, that's just what they do, man. They need a big play. Ivory Irvin's there.
And what a time for Ivory Irvin to come alive. You find yourselves down 21-6 at home. Great time to come alive for Irvin there.
Warren Murray just at the start of the third quarter, breaking through a tackle, and he scores 21-19. They get the 2-point conversion too, tied at 21, and all the momentum on the side of the Vultures at Sports Gamers Online Stadium. Now, down 28-21. Whoa! That looked like a catch, but it wasn't. Picked off by Peanut Say. An alert, wild play that puts DC back up by 14 with 6 minutes to go.
An incredible interception there. It most definitely looked like a one-handed catch there, but a great job from Peanut Say to snatch the ball out of the hands of the receiver and take it back to the house for 6 points.
Down 38-28 with 1:15 to go. Baltimore is never out of a game. Mac Chima scores, makes it 38-35, and you're thinking, oh man, where have I seen this movie before? A Baltimore, Mexico City semifinal, perhaps. Onside kick is, it's still loose. It's on the ground. It's still on the ground. Baltimore recovers. 1:07 to go. You can't be serious. They get a field goal out of it. 38-38 at the gun. DC tries to win it off the crossbar, and we're going to overtime. DC wins the toss. 35 seconds in, it's Shabazz Synergy to Mike Churchill, boom! And DC walks it off against Baltimore, 44-38. Incredible.
An incredible performance from the DC Dragons. When you go into the Sports Gamers Online Arena against the Vultures, you got to put it all out on the line to come out of that arena with a win. And for DC, they were able to hold strong in overtime and leave the arena with a win.
68-8 is Baltimore at Sports Gamers Online Stadium all time. They've lost to 8 different teams once, never lost to anyone twice. It's important to note since we know we're getting more Baltimore home games in the playoffs. Another team poised for an upset despite not being in the playoffs. How about the Portland Fleet? Down 6-3 in the third. Bernard Smith takes it away from the Legion offense and gets Portland into a new mindset. Third and short from the 10. We're tired of field goals. Let's go for touchdowns. Ezekiel Love wrapped up at the 3, but more importantly, Portland gets the first down. 2 plays later, third and goal from the 3. We're tired of field goals. We need touchdowns, so give it back to Love, and he scores just at the gun of the goal line, 10-6. Portland takes the lead. Vancouver, late in this game, down 10-9, 6:15 to go. Christian Brown is picked off by Dale McClain. It was just the same story. It seemed like every possession for Vancouver in this one, they couldn't figure Portland out.
Yeah, and in a low-scoring game, you got to take all the points you can and keep the ball in your hands. And as we see here again, another interception late in the fourth quarter. Won't be able to get it done for you, throwing interceptions in the fourth.
It was so nice. McClain did it twice, and Portland beats Vancouver 13-9. So, Paul, DC, Portland, both a lot of positive momentum heading into the new game, season 21. They're not going to be in these playoffs. It's the last we'll see of them until July, but who are you most excited for of those two with what they're going to do with a new game and a new mindset, new attitude?
Oh, so if I had to pick one, I would have to say I'm a little more excited to see DC next season. Nothing against Portland and my guy Cyrus Jive over there, but I'm just mainly excited to see DC's uniforms. I've seen the sneak peeks and they're going to be looking good. But no, in all seriousness, DC has had a top 10 offense and defense 3 of the last 5 seasons. They've been consistent. Heading into this new era of SFL, I believe they can continue the success that they've had. I'm also excited to see Shabazz Synergy in the new era, seeing if he can continue to play at the level he's played at, one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league in season 20.
You know, Portland, they tried something different, and we've seen in the past few years of the SFL, if you try something different, it doesn't really work out for you. Portland's got this ground and pound. They've got these brilliant offensive linemen. They've got Ezekiel Love. I mean, they got a ball carrier, and I want to see how that translates into season 21 on the field, or if they're going to be rewarded for being different, and if other teams are going to be rewarded for being different and forging some different identities out there. It's going to be really interesting to see what they can do transferring this style. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Back to the highlights. Let's go to London, where the Canton Classics take it on the London Knights. Hey, look, it's a first quarter touchdown for Canton. They're first in 6 weeks. Canton takes the lead 7-0. However, into the third quarter, they'd only put up 6.6 since, and Fox Highwind is getting 6 into the end zone for the score. He was monstrous on this day for the all-of-a-sudden red-hot London Knights. Cam Crosby with the safety late puts London up 33-13, and he's giving you the safety shark.
Cam Crosby is no stranger to bringing quarterbacks down. This time for London, was able to add 2 points to their scoreboard, and that is just a big-time play from a huge player for the London Knights defense.
Hey, so with 1:15 to go in the game, look who it is. It's Jack Wall, down 20 with a catch to the 29-yard line. Jack Wall needed a London win against his own team to win the survivor pool, $2,500. He gets a touchdown catch in garbage time, too. But it's too little too late. London wins 33-20. Jack Wall wins $2,500. And Fox Highwind won a date with Ashley Jackson in PGI.
Welcome back to PGI, where I'm joined with a good friend of mine, Mr. Fox Highwind. He is the wide receiver for the London Knights. It just came off a big win against Canton. I know Canton had a lot to say on one of my podcasts and everything. Actually, both of you guys have been having a lot to say, but it's all in the friendly camaraderie and friendly banter that we have here. But tell me, you guys are in the playoffs as of right now. Now, the seeding is still kind of up in the air as where everyone's actually going. But how do you feel about being in the playoffs once again, Fox?
It feels good. Well, you can't ever feel bad about being in the playoffs, but it'll be every season that I've been with London, we've been in the playoffs. and 5 of the 6 years I've been in the league, I've been in the playoffs. So it's always good to get back because you never know what's going to happen from one year to the next.
True.
We're looking at based on the scenario show, we're looking at either a 5 or a 6 seed, and we'll definitely be playing an opponent we've already played this season. So, they know what they're facing, but we know what we're facing as well. So, and we'll be playing in Kingsway.
So, to your point, what makes Kingsway so special for the Knights that you guys have not lost a game there in quite some time, if ever, I believe?
Well, no, we have. It's been a while, I believe, since season 1 or season 18, week 1 was the last time that we lost a home game in Queensway, and I would say probably the local food, the flight time getting over to England. We're used to that stuff. We don't have the jet lag, so that's a big part of it. We've got great fans. I think they intimidate a lot of the stateside crowd. So, I think it's just a really intimidating place to play.
Mm-hmm. And you guys seem to work as a better unit when you're at home. Maybe it's because you are defending the castle, so to speak.
Exactly. I think that's a really good point too. I should have led with that, but I decided to go with the cuisine. So, yeah.
Oh, good. Well, you know what? I wish you guys the best of luck in the playoffs. Hopefully we'll see you down the road, and heck of a season. So, congratulations on the season.
And congrats to you as well. I hope I don't see you down the road. But if we do, then we'll try to go easy on you this time. We gave you a couple in the past, but
yeah, y'all tried to knock me out. Remember?
Do what?
Y'all remember trying to knock me out of the game last season?
I do. And didn't the backup quarterback play better than you in that game?
No, actually. A little bit. But see, we train. We train our people that no matter who goes down, you're going to do your best. So y'all try to knock me out, drop some pickle juice, and I was back. You know what I mean?
I got you.
But good deal, Fox, man. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your time. And we'll get together and talk soon.
All right. Go Knights.
That interview, Paulie, is proof that you can always bury the hatchet in the SFL. Let's get the scores around the league. Of course, the Arizona Scorpions and Ashley Jackson had no trouble this week as they just destroyed Las Vegas. That was never a game. 12 sacks for Arizona. Eric Price was in the dirt all day long. Arizona wins the West. Vegas, despite losing 4 in a row, they're in the playoffs. More on that in a minute. Motor City is revving up for season 21. They finish 3-9. They get a win over Queen City. First winless team since San Diego in season 16. It just was not going the way of the green and black this season. From 1-11 to 4-8, Seattle edges Los Angeles to quadruple their win total from their inaugural season. You take any wins you can get, Paul, and that's good. That's a good win for the Nemesis there.
Absolutely, and from 1-11 to 4-8, quadruple your wins. I know Seattle has the same mindset headed into next season, trying to quadruple their wins once more.
16 wins.
Hey, whatever it takes to get there. But no, it's a great season. Momentum is in our favor here, headed towards season 21, and we're just excited to get back on the field and get to work, headed towards season 21.
So Las Vegas has lost 4 in a row, yet tiebreakers are on their side. They're going to the playoffs, and guess who they get? London, at London. A place where London hasn't lost but once since the season 18 opener, and that was in the playoffs against the Arizona Scorpions in the semifinal. Now they welcome Vegas, who has a history of winning playoff games on the road. They beat Queen City in their last playoff appearance in Buffalo. So Vegas no stranger to pulling out all the stops. What do you think about this Vegas-London matchup, a rematch from Week 3?
Oh, it's going to be another high-flying game. Both of these teams' offenses are electric. Vegas averaging 31.2 points a game this season. London averaging a league-best 35.1 points per game. Johnny Ice Cold Pickler, the man, the myth, the legend himself, is looking to lead his team in an arena that, as you mentioned, they haven't lost in a while. Other than that season 18 game against Arizona, in their last 19 games, they are 18-1 at home. So Las Vegas definitely has a tough task at hands. But back in week 3, London beat Las Vegas 48-31. My keys to winning that game is not going to be offense. It's going to be which defense can step up to the plate and hold the other team's offenses to minimal points.
Harish Prasad, $5 super chat. Yes, Gunny, we made it. Hashtag the curse is over. Hashtag no one outpizzas the Hawks. That's Carolina again, celebrating that they are in the playoffs for the first time since season 11. And by the way, Christian Bachagalupi with a super chat late last night. We cut off the air before we got to give him a shout out. Central Division champs for Minnesota. More on the Minnesota legend here a bit later, but for now, back to the highlights as Florida is taking on Atlanta. And early on, it looked pretty good for the Florida Storm. They took a 17-14 lead in the second quarter thanks to Bullet Boletsky's run. Then that ball fumbled by Atlanta. Can you believe that play stood after all that crazy call there? 23-14, Orlando's up, but Florida is up, but the wheels started to fall off. Boo Chisholm with the touchdown. Next possession, Ron Cochran picked off. That's Chris Henry with the pick on Veridin Zarkov. Next possession, this is like less than a minute later. Bryant Dynasty going long. Has a receiver, Siege Falco. He's in the end zone, 28-23, and just like that, Florida is down by 5. Atlanta taking a 4-point lead. Ron Cochran's pass is picked off again on the next possession. This is just a disastrous third quarter for the Atlanta Swarm. Up 35-30. BDG Hollywood take us home. He goes untouched for the score. 45-30. Atlanta takes out the Florida Storm. Denver, San Diego, as that pass is deflected thanks to a dive from the Mavericks receiver. That's Ron Hoff, who had an incredible night for Denver, taking it back. And Bailey O'Shaughnessy would finish off the drive. 17-10 Nightwings. So on one hand, you got Atlanta, clearly the number 1 seed in the SFL, getting it done at home in the second half. Maybe San Diego could do the same. 20-17 in the third, but they just couldn't stop Bailey. Bailey with the vision. Bailey down the sideline. Denver scores 24-20 in the third. Nightwings are up. Time running out on Scar Patterson, and his fourth down pass is errant and way off base. Denver tops the Mavericks 24-23. Jacksonville at Louisiana. Lyric Da Vinci, he has stolen the show, Paul, in Louisiana. Liam Hammer, this guy has been sensational the last month.
Yeah, he's definitely been putting on incredible performances week in and week out here to end this season 20.
Down 17-3, OJ Bruin picked off by Mike Ryan. Now free agent Mike Ryan, declared earlier this week. Gets the interception, gets Louisiana back in territory. This was a Revolution triumph from the jump. They had it all going on. Still in the second quarter, Tommy Utah fires it outside. That's John Michael Sudeth, breaking a couple tackles, getting it down to the 3. And if Sudeth can't do it, maybe their other tight end can. Levy Lease, touchdown, 24-3. Revolution on top of the woeful Kings. Boy, are they ready for season 21. 3rd and 8, 3 minutes later, still in the first half. OJ Bruin is smothered by Brian Craven, and Jacksonville just didn't have much fight in him after that. Louisiana cruises, but San Diego and Louisiana end up falling out of the playoff picture and out of the top 12. We'll see him in season 21. Tyler Falk, a.k.a. Mike Ryan, that free agent that we talked about, sat down with Ashley Jackson after the game.
All right, we're back with PGI, and I have a good friend with me, Mr. Tyler Falk, a.k.a. Matt Ryan. He is the strong safety for the Louisiana Revolution that just came off a big win against the Jacksonville Kings. Now, they did look like they made a valiant effort towards the end there to kind of pull away, but you guys, put your foot on the gas and you never let up. So what were your thoughts on this game?
First half looked really. Words are hard, supposedly. And I'm supposed to be the broadcaster of the year, I guess. But anywho, it started off really well. First half was really going to plan. Mike Ryan even got a pick in the green and blue. A nice little safety team up with him and Tank over the end. Another safety, Dante Grimm would get another interception later in that ball game. The FBI really playing very well to get 7-5 and really make our final statement of the regular season emphatically. A very nice, cohesive victory. We looked really strong throughout that first half. Little wayward there in the second half, but we closed out the game, still have the 13-point margin of victory, and Louisiana comes away with a 7-5 record, which unfortunately, due to our SOV, means we will not be in the postseason. So we feel the sting, just like Tulsa felt the sting last season.
Yeah, and it's like when you're right there and you just fall a little bit short. Tell me, now that you guys know that, overall, that you're just kind of taking a step back and just looking at the season overall, what are your thoughts on Louisiana and how well they did this season? Or if there was some work that needed to be done?
Well, since we didn't make the postseason, there's always work that's to be done. And even if we were to make the postseason, we're always trying to push forward. Louisiana has always been an organization that keeps on revolving, keeping up with the revolution and continuing to push forward in that regard. Every single hiccup is a chance for us to continue to move forward. And so, we didn't do so hot in the Pacific Division where their combined record was below 500, and that certainly didn't help us in terms of SOV. Going up against the Central Division, which is a monster of a division. Minnesota, Tulsa, Sioux Falls, and Indianapolis are four of the best teams in the league, and two of them are only 2 seasons old, 1 year old to nearly the date of their announcement. And all 4 of those teams are always very tough. And it didn't help. We lost to Atlanta, and didn't help. We lost to Florida. And the 7-5 record looks good and all, but the quality of wins just wasn't there for us this season. Season 21, Louisiana looks to retool and looks to refocus going into the new era of the SFL.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what Louisiana will be able to do this next season. And like you said, 7-5, you just missed it, but you still had a great season out of the way. So, Tyler, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, AJ. Take care.
You too. Cam, Polly, back to you.
Thank you, Ashley. And back to the highlights. Speaking of just missing it, ? Houston at Alamo City, both are 6-5, and this was all about the gun show. Greg Corky from Dave Burr scores, and Houston is up 7-6. Doesn't get more wide open than that.
No, it does not, and in a must-win game for both of these teams. Playoff hopes are on the line in this ball game, and both teams were putting it all out on the field to end their season.
Start of the third quarter. Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Greg Soto for the touchdown. He's gone untouched. Alamo City takes a 13-7 advantage. And at this moment of the game, Paul, I thought we were in for a shootout. Didn't turn out that way.
No, it did not, and what a great play from Greg Soto to go up and get the ball and just have nothing but grass in front of him to take the lead back against Houston in this first half.
19-10, final stages of the game. Look at this play, one of the best plays of the week. Jukin Rukin Jr., high flying, seals the win for Alamo City. They are a 50-50 shot to make it. That depends on Monday night's game. Look at this play. Incredible.
Great play there.
Alamo City wins.
Jr.
Yeah, sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
No, you're good, Cam. Jukin Rukin Jr., former Lexington Minor two-way player, just making a play for his team, which helped Alamo City punch their ticket into the playoffs.
If Fort Worth wins on Monday night. Otherwise, Alamo City will be left in the cold, and Mexico City will take their spot. First-time interview for Sonny J with Ashley Jackson, Houston's kicker on PGI.
Welcome back to PGI, where I am joined with a good friend of mine, Mr. Sonny J. He is kicker for the Houston Headhunters, and he has the throwback jersey from the Hyenas era. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's good to hear, man. So, you guys, the season ended, unfortunately, with a loss to the Alamo City Artillery. 10-19, very close game, but I think that some issues that you guys ran across was the turnovers. Turnover book kind of got you with 5 turnovers, and GP Wells being held to only 27 yards. But Sonny, from your perspective, what do you think that the team could have done a little bit better, maybe to pull out the win over the Alamo City Artillery?
Other than what you just said, I mean, GP has been a very big part of this offense throughout past games. We definitely need to get him running more. But, there's only so much that we could do. I'm not going to say it was all our fault because obviously their defense stepped up and played. And, I got to give credit where credit is due. That defense played one hell of a game. So, I mean, other than the turnovers, we got to try to work on them, which we will. We'll get it under control.
Now, you, as kicker, has had some game-saving plays yourself, and a couple walk-off field goals, too, to kind of help things out. How has your experience been over with the Headhunters?
Oh, it's amazing. I can't say anything bad about this team, honestly. The environment in the locker room is always positive. With Simeon, talking to the team after losses, telling us, keep our heads up. Not even just him, our players rally with each other on losses. Never falls on one person. It's always a team effort, win or lose. Really nothing bad. I mean, we always say, there's always next year, which there is next year. We will be back. I will be back 100%. I've already told them that. I'm not going nowhere. I still got business to finish in Houston. So I ain't going nowhere. We'll be back next year and we'll get them.
All right. Well, I will definitely be looking forward to seeing what you guys do in that South Division. I know it's a very tough division and
It is.
full of great people, full of great teams. So good luck to y'all next season.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Cam, Polly, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. Sonny seems like a good dude. And, Houston had a magical run, 5 wins in a row. Thought they were going to steal it there at the end. That's the kind of team, Paul, that you'd rather see a team on a 6-game win streak rather than a Vegas team on a 4-game losing streak into the playoffs. But it's all about your resume over 12 games, and Houston just didn't have enough this season.
Yeah, and after a tough start, heartbreaking losses earlier in the season, came back to haunt Houston as their record just wasn't good enough to get into the playoffs, but a bunch of good people over there, and I'm sure that the franchise is already focused towards season 21 and ready to make another run to get back into the playoffs next season.
All right, with that, let's set the stage. Let's dim the lights. Sunday night. Things are getting spicy in Week 14. We're just scratching the surface of what was happening Sunday evening. Sioux Falls opens the door for Tulsa. They just bludgeoned Minnesota 30-10. They mopped the floor with the ball. It was unbelievable, stunning watching Minnesota lose the game in the way that they did. Sioux Falls ends on a pretty good note. They finished 6-6. Crazy, Paul. 6-0 at home. 0-6 on the road for Sioux Falls this season. That's tough. And they missed the playoffs. Carolina did their part to make the playoffs. They romp over Charleston. They needed Indianapolis to beat Tulsa in the nightcap. Tulsa needed a win, and if they got it, they would win the Central. Indy had to win to make the playoffs. If they won, Carolina was in, and San Diego was out. If Tulsa won, San Diego clinched the playoffs. But it was crazy, Paul. It was crazy. What was going to happen? Madness. That's what happened. 6 seconds into the game, we knew we were in for a treat. Jeff Bamfield going off all the way down the sideline. Indy would turn it into a field goal.
Yeah, and it was exactly what Indianapolis needed, a big splash play to start the game like that from Banfield.
And then Kanye got the defense rolling halfway through the first quarter, gets a pick in the red zone. How would Indy respond? How about more Jeff Banfield? 1K for Jeff. He's in. That was a superstar in the making last night.
Absolutely, and to see the Indianapolis receivers go back and forth with receptions was just a sight to see last night.
David Ware, maybe the play of the season, the linebacker diving underneath the defenders, gets back up and scores. David Ware, a pick 6 on his first interception of his career. That was incredible.
And David Ware just making a phenomenal play. The big man going up for the ball, coming down with it, and running all the way back for 6 points for Tulsa.
Look at it again.
Going up and getting it untouched, getting back up and just running, Cam. Wow, what a great play from a big-time player in David Ware.
Full extension, and Jeff Banfield probably thought a military airplane flew above him. This punt is blocked by Angel Maldonado, and look at Bam Bam Cook running down the field. The big man gets it down to the Tulsa 25. This started a litany of errors in the third quarter from both teams. And just a sensational play there on special teams for Indianapolis. More of that where that came from later. What would they do with it? Well, Colin Pierce's pass will be picked off. A really close call. Marco Swift with the interception. Must have dragged that right foot. Let's look at it again.
A great play from Marco Swift, just very slightly dragging that right foot in with milliseconds before he was out of bounds.
7:50 to go in the fourth. Look at all the gray jerseys around that play, around that football. Ernest McCray Sr. with the interception. And this was the moment where it felt like Tulsa was done for. 3rd and goal at the 1. 7.5 to go in the fourth. Christian Pierce runs it in, 23-10. All the momentum with the Ramblers, and looked like a foregone conclusion. Extra point for Top Kiefer. Nope, that's blocked. And all of a sudden, Tulsa felt like they had a little new life in them. 2:25 to go. This was the end of a 20-play drive as DJ Hume scores the touchdown. Earlier on the drive, there was an interception that turned into a fumble recovered by Douglas Brown. It was just madness there at the end of the game. Indy recovers the onside kick. They get a field goal. And then Corey Jones goes flying through the air. I think if JQ would have had a little bit more under him, that would have been a touchdown easy.
Most definitely. He just needed to throw the ball 2-3 yards further, and DJ Hume would have walked in with another touchdown there.
50 seconds left, and that pass caught by DJ Bandit, so now it is a 2-point game, 26-24. Onside kick for Tulsa, trying to get the ball back and pull an unbelievable comeback, and it is loose, but Indy recovers. All Indy needed was a first down. They didn't get it. Instead, they played the clock, needing to run it out with Gabriel Manning on the other side. It was the most dramatic punt in SFL history, Paul, with playoff hopes lingering, hanging on this punt return, and Manning is stopped. What a game. What will you most remember about this instant classic?
Oh, wow, Cam. An incredible game to be a part of and call, but we saw it all in the highlights, and we saw it all last night, from high-flying offense to 2 fumbles to 8 interceptions to an interception leading to a fumble, an extra point block, a punt block. We couldn't have asked for a better game last night. In game number 167 of season 20 and the second to last regular season game of the APF era, Tulsa and Indianapolis did not disappoint. I have some close friends on both teams and wishing them the utmost luck and success on their quest to the championship this season.
It was wild. Let's focus on a couple teams that started off the night. First, Minnesota. They won the Central, I guess. It got tight there late, but Tulsa couldn't take advantage. Minnesota couldn't take advantage of the moment, so now they're going to be playing in the wild card. Perhaps they still have a slim chance at getting a first-round bye. Actually, more than slim, 50% chance for Minnesota. So despite a couple of bad games late, Minnesota still could have a first-round bye. What do you make of the legend? I don't really know what to think of this team right now.
I remember back in week 4, Cam, you were asking me if Minnesota is the second best team in the league in their second season in the SFL. They're a phenomenal team, and they have truly lived up to the hype that they've created. Just the consistency factor. When they're playing great, they're unstoppable. But as we saw this weekend, last night, that against Sioux Falls, they just weren't necessarily all on the same page, and just unfortunately fell 30-10 against Sioux Falls last night.
Now, how about Carolina? Boy, they sure did not fall into the trap of Charleston in a rivalry game on Sunday, and they got it done. Then Indy gets the win. Carolina is 0-4 all-time in the playoffs. They have never won a playoff game. They haven't been since season 11. Maybe this is their time. They are a Matt South health game away from beating Arizona and Baltimore in the same season and going 8-4. How deep can they go, Paul?
And I know the fans of the SFL love the Carolina Skyhawks, and I think if they can make it out of that wild card matchup, depending on who they play, if they can make it out the wild card, I think they may have what it takes to go all the way. As we saw earlier in the season, they knocked Baltimore off, so they know that they compete against any team in the league. It's all in the game plan and who they're playing against, and actually going out on the field and making it happen.
Here in our final PGI of the season, Ashley Jackson with a message. Special thank you to all the guests that were on PGI this season. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedules to give your post-game interview thoughts and opinions, and I couldn't agree more. This show would not be the same without Ashley Jackson and her guests. It would just be me and Paul sitting here yakking for 44 minutes. And, you know, we really appreciate the breakup. We appreciate hearing what the players and the coaches and the owners have to say, their perspective on things, and it really helps bring our whole league and our whole community together. So, you know, thank you to Ashley and all of her guests for that. Paul, you have anything to add on that?
You hit it right on the dot. As far as myself, I definitely appreciate it. I definitely don't think the fans would necessarily care to watch us ramble for 45 minutes, but hey, so huge credit to Ashley for everything she's done this season with all the interviews, and huge credit to everyone who gave an interview as well. Definitely helps bring the community all together.
That week that Ashley had off, worst rated show of the season, easily. $4.99 super chat from Skippy. Here's to Ashley Jackson. I couldn't agree more. Okay, so here's what's coming up. For our Next Level Sports audience, Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis will break down the playoff preview, the wild card weekend, the 12 teams that are in the playoffs, teams that didn't make it, all the matchups, all the great stuff. For our YouTube audience, you'll come back for a preview of Fort Worth, Mexico City, and we'll look at all the possibilities that are going to happen here in tonight's ball game. For Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine. This has been This Week in the SFL. We'll be right back. See you in the playoffs. Welcome to Impact Monday, our final of the season. I know that your Mondays will never be the same again, but we're gonna try to make you miss us until July when we come back and do it all over again. Tonight, Fort Worth and Mexico City in game number 168 of the regular season. We'll get underway in about 10 minutes. Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine, and wow, this game is going to be a thriller.
Most definitely, and if it's anything like the game we saw last night, I cannot wait for kickoff. Always excited to be here with you every Monday so far this season, Cam. And boy, a lot is on the line for a couple teams tonight. I know they're tuned in. I know Mexico City, Fort Worth's tuned in. It's going to be a great game tonight.
Let's start with the possible brackets and the dates and times when those playoff matchups could occur if these two things happen tonight. Let's start first if Fort Worth goes on the road and beats Mexico City. That's going to be Atlanta 1, Arizona at the 2. Fort Worth will nab the 3 spot and clinch a bye. Baltimore will slip to 4th. Remember, Fort Worth beat Baltimore head-to-head in that instance. Arizona with winning the tiebreaker on, I think it was, it was SOV. There was a common games loss in there. Baltimore, the worst in common games between Fort Worth and Carolina, or Fort Worth and Arizona. That was a weird one. So Baltimore slips to 4th. John Fullerton with a $5 super chat. Let's go Fort Worth. Put that work in. Okay, let's go to the wild card. That means that Tulsa would go to Carolina. Carolina would have a home playoff game. Indy goes to Vancouver. That would be your next level sports matchup. That's our call, Paul, on Saturday if Fort Worth wins. Vegas goes to London. That matchup is confirmed. In this bracket, it's the 11-6 game on Sunday. And then Alamo City would go to Minnesota Saturday night. So looking at that bracket, Paul, what stands out to you in matchups and where everybody fell?
So we spoke earlier about Las Vegas and London. They're playing each other no matter what. Another game that I'm excited to see is that Indianapolis and Vancouver rematch. Indianapolis had the upper hand against Vancouver earlier in the season. Another matchup I'm excited to see is Tulsa and Carolina, 2 7-5 teams. Tulsa missed the playoffs last season with a 7-5 record, able to get in this season, and Carolina just making a run and trying to win some playoff games, and hopefully for them, they'll be trying to battle for the championship this season. And you can't forget about Alamo City and Minnesota. Minnesota, like I mentioned earlier, just a little up and down, possible second best team in the league earlier in the season, found themselves to finish 8-4. And if they play Alamo City's no slouch either. So bunch of great teams all around. As we're looking here, there's 12 of the best teams of the season, and it's going to be a battle to see who's going to come out on top at the end.
Remember, Alamo City, formerly Lone Star, they went to Vancouver, the number 1 seed, a couple of seasons back, and they beat them in the semifinals. They're no stranger to going into hostile territory, and Minnesota has the greatest win percentage at home of all time. I believe they're 11-1 at home now. It would be their first home playoff game as well, since they were at DC in a 10-7 matchup last season. So Minnesota in unfamiliar territory, Alamo City in familiar territory. Albert begin in the chat, no love for ACA. Nobody cares about the chip on your shoulder. Everybody's got one. Alamo City could potentially be dangerous in that 12 spot. If they win, they automatically go to Atlanta. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. So that's if Fort Worth wins the game. Now, if Mexico City wins the game, Alamo City is out of the playoffs, and instead the bracket looks like this. Baltimore is your 2 seed. Arizona is your 3 seed. The head-to-head for Baltimore got it done. Minnesota is your 4 seed, gets a first-round bye despite losing badly to Sioux Falls at the end of the season. Now, in the wild card round, Carolina goes at Vancouver. You got Skippy Curtis versus Chris Curtis. You got Andy Hamilton facing his former team. That could be a really interesting game. That's the Sunday nightcap game. Tulsa is at Mexico City in the 10-7 matchup. Douglas Brown, Phoenix Jones, all sorts of celebrity star power in that one. Indy goes to Fort Worth. That is a huge game between 2 up-and-coming teams. And then you have the Vegas-London matchup 12-5. That would be our game in this scenario, in this situation, if Mexico City were to win and get in and get the home game with the 8-4 record at the 7 spot. So bunch of different matchups and a bunch of different situations. If Mexico City wins tonight, what do you think about this bracket, Paul?
Oh, if Mexico City can get it done tonight, they'll be playing Tulsa. And as you mentioned, Douglas Brown, Phoenix Jones, two of the best running backs in the league and two teams with the best rushing attack this season. So that'll definitely be an interesting game to watch. As you mentioned, Carolina and Vancouver, all of the storylines with that matchup definitely would be an exciting one to tune into, and hearing both teams go back and forth all game long. And as Indianapolis and Fort Worth, two of the best pass offenses this season, so definitely would be a high-flying game. It's just so many great teams, and a lot is on the line here for Mexico City tonight and Alamo City. They won't make the playoffs if Mexico City wins. Minnesota trying to get a first-round bye. There's just unlimited storylines here, and we're going to find out what's going to happen here next week, tonight on Impact Monday.
I love what Indy and Fort Worth could potentially be. You've got Stephen Hacker and Ryan Roosevelt, and Jeff Bamfield, and Robert Garrett Jr., and you have just so many weapons on both sides of the ball. You have two running games that are emerging at the right time. J.Z. Bacon, Christian Pierce, both looking a lot better than they did at the start of the season. So you have two teams that feel very similar to me, Paul, and that could be one spicy matchup. So now to the details of Mexico City and Fort Worth tonight. Here it all is. Once again, Mexico City, if they win, they will be in, and they will play Tulsa at home as the 7th seed. If they lose, they will be out. It will be their first playoff miss since season 6. It just doesn't happen. If that does happen, Paul, that means these playoffs would not have, for the first time, Florida, Jacksonville, Sioux Falls, Mexico City. That's 4 of the top 6 teams all time in wins, and throw in Queen City for good measure, right? So you got a lot of historical teams that wouldn't even be a part of these playoffs if Mexico City were to lose tonight. Now, if Fort Worth wins, a first-round bye is at stake. They want a bye. They want a week off. Everyone wants a week off, Paul. You don't know who you're playing. You get to sit back, relax, and recharge for the final 8 push. They would clinch the number 3 seed and a franchise win total record. In this game mostly affects Alamo City. They do not control fate, or they do not control their own destiny. Fate does. Instead, if Mexico City wins, the Artillery would be the 3rd 7-5 team to miss the playoffs. But if Mexico City loses, they become the 3rd 7-5 team out, and Alamo City would get the victory. Got all that?
I got it all, Cam, and wow, it just so much is on the line for so many players and fans of the league tonight, and the playoffs will be decided after this game tonight on Impact Monday, and I cannot wait for kickoff, Cam.
Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk in postgame will have your wild card breakdown as we put the graphic up, all the dates and times, all the information that you need to know will be here in postgame after the game. Mike O'Neill, take us home with your keys to tonight's big matchup.
Thank you, Cam and Paul in the booth. Appreciate you guys. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's helped out on Monday nights for this season, for season 20. And it's been a pleasure being on this with you guys this season. We're going to talk about what we're here for, Fort Worth and Mexico City, a big matchup tonight. This is always a big matchup between these two teams. And let's talk about what needs to happen for both teams. Mexico City, they've got the most to lose. We're going to start with them. All pressure is on site. All eyes are going to be on Jordan Sight. Can he take them to the playoffs whenever they haven't missed the playoffs in a long time? Obviously stepping in to fill big shoes, and all eyes are going to be on Jordan Sight. They're going to have to call on the receivers tonight, really, to get the air, almost like an air raid offense going initially. They have to catch Fort Worth on their heels. Fort Worth's going to come out looking to stop the 1-2 punch in Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley. And Mexico City's got to counter that to come out the gate. They've got to get the pass going first to open up those run lanes. And as for Mexico City's defense, they're going to have to take the ball away. Marcus Dunhill, known for being a gunslinger in the past, they want to get that old Marcus Dunhill tonight, not the new Marcus Dunhill. So we're going to flip sides talking about Fort Worth tonight. Dunhill cannot be a gunslinger like we just talked about. he's going to have to ultimately give the ball off to Jay-Z Bacon. They're going to have to control the game, keep the ball out of Mexico City's hands, because that's Mexico City's game. They like to control the clock. They like to control the ground game. And Fort Worth is going to have to do what they do best. They're going to have to even pass and have some deep shots, you know, to their receivers. They're really going to have to control the game tonight in all phases. Mexico City's going to do everything they can to win tonight. As for Fort Worth's defense, it's really just business as usual for them. They've got 37 takeaways on the season. If they can get a couple takeaways on Jordan's side, they can put this to bed early. But Mexico City's not going to go down without a fight. We've got a good matchup tonight. Good luck to both teams. We're going to send it back to you guys, Cam and Paul. Thank you again for an amazing Season 20.
Thank you, Mike. And I echo what he says, Paul. When we first envisioned this show, when we kind of looked at our schedule format and said, you know, what do we want to make out of this 20th anniversary season? We said, let's make Monday night. Let's go back to, you know, a primetime individual game, you know, where we hype up let's take a page out of Sunday Night Football's book and let's make Monday our own thing. And Ashley Jackson stepped up and Mike O'Neill stepped up, Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk. You know, it took us a couple of weeks to find our footing, but you know, we found a rhythm in, you know, what we were trying to do and what we were looking for out of this show. And it's not easy. It's not an easy show to pull off. I basically, you know, we work all day on Monday, you know, prepping for this show and getting it all ready. But I must say, Paul, it's been super rewarding to kind of go back through each week of the season and see everyone's accomplishments, hear everyone's interviews. I can't wait to run it back, Paul. It was great. It was a great time.
Oh, it was most definitely a great time. And again, I appreciate you even thinking of bringing me on to the show. It means the world to me, and I've had a blast here with you this season. And I want to highlight in the chat, Guy Clausen was asking where Mike O'Neill's chair was. So I was wondering the same thing on that one. But just awesome community, awesome place to be. I couldn't be happier to be here with a part of you and everyone else included on Monday nights, and just being here to talk about the SFL with the whole community.
And thank you, Paul. Mike St. Green totally screwed me. He called me one day. He said, hey, I got off my couch and I got a job. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, I'm going to be trucking all year long, and I'm only going to be home every other weekend. And I'm like, I can't. What am I supposed to do, right? So I thought to myself, okay, who's not on our schedule this season? Hey, I remember this Pauly Truth dude who wrote this banging song, right? For I've been waiting all week for SFL action, and I thought, man, you know, this guy was a good dude at the convention in Las Vegas. I got to call him up, see if he'd be wanting to do this show. And Paul said, hey, perfect timing, right? It's a good time for everything.
Absolutely.
And it's worked out for us this season. Thank you, partner, for being with me all season long.
Absolutely, Cam. You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. Glad I was a part of it.
Let's put a bow on it. Game 168, Fort Worth and Mexico City, final regular season game. It's coming up next right here on Impact Monday. Don't go anywhere. This city is buzzing. Mexico City is ready for tonight's ball game here in Week 14 between the Mexico City Aztecs and the Fort Worth Toros. It's simple for the Aztecs. Win, and you're in. Fort Worth, win, and you get a week off. Welcome to Impact Monday. Fort Worth and Mexico City, part 2, here south of the border with Ron Haynes, Mark Lopez, Paul Sarp. I'm Cameron Irvine, Tyler Falk, and Chris Curtis back at SFL Studios for the half and post-game wrap-up. Paul, this is going to be a great one to finish off the season. Everything in play. Vegas and London, the only ones who know what's happening.
Oh, it is going to be a great game, Cam. So much is on the line for Mexico City. The Toros trying to get a bye. Alamo City needs a little bit of help to get in, but this matchup is going to be great. It's the 6th all-time meeting between these teams. Fort Worth currently up 3-2, and it's a high-scoring affair when these teams meet, Cam. An average score of 33 towards Fort Worth and 30.2 towards Mexico City. So I expect a lot of points on the board, and all of these players leaving it all on the line tonight to wrap up season 20.
After last night's game, I just need a nap, but not yet. We are not done with the regular season as Fort Worth will kick it away, and Jordan Sipe, all the pressure on him, as Mike O'Neill alluded to, coming into the game. He wants to take the Mexico City Aztecs back to the playoffs. We'll find out if he can do it. Fort Worth's Amelia Rose has the ball on the tee. And the hand in the air. Ladies and gentlemen, let's kick it. We're underway. From the 1. This is Jeffrey Daggs on the return, breaking off a tackle and getting to the 25-yard line. So Jordan Sipe, in his second season by way of Jacksonville, 5'11", 215, has been a little up and down this season, as has the Mexico City offense, trying to find the right rhythm tonight.
Yeah, and Jordan Sipe has had a pretty impressive season for only his second season in the league. Coming up on 2,800 yards with a chance for 3,000 tonight, 21 touchdowns, only 17 interceptions.
Toss and a loss of 4. That's out to Bentley and wrapped up quickly by E.K. Vincent. A loss of 4 yards, not what they were looking for. The rest of this Mexico City offense includes Phoenix Jones, the one of 2 running backs you'll see tonight often, Buford Van Dam at fullback. The wide receivers, you just saw Jason Bartley there, along with Nick Lockett and Terrell Cooper. The tight end is Bill Henry. 2nd down and 14 at the 21-yard line. Empty backfield, 5 wide for Jordan Sipe. Going deep, that pass is tipped up in the air and incomplete. Looking for Nick Lockett. Quickly, 3rd and long for Mexico City in green tonight.
And that is a great coverage there from Fort Worth. 35 interceptions this season for their defense, which is 2nd in the league. So they've definitely been able to help the offense out, getting them the ball back, and that was just a great play there and great coverage.
3rd and 14. Sipe to pass, sidearm to Bartley. That is caught, but 2 yards shy of the first down. 3 and out for Mexico City on their opening drive. Fort Worth's defense with the first stop of the game.
This game's starting off a little slow for Mexico City, not able to get a first down there. But when you have such a great defense like Mexico City has, it's all right to come up short here on this first drive, as there's a lot of time left in this game.
After what we saw last night, which felt like that game felt like an eternity sometimes, because there was just, you always thought that something could happen on the next play. So every play felt like it took a little bit longer. But Baker on the return to the 27-yard line, and Fort Worth will start their first possession on offense. Marcus Dunhill, 3rd in the league in passing yards, quietly 3,557, 28 touchdowns. That's 2nd best. Having one of the best seasons of Marcus Dunhill's career, and we often never talk about it, as Jay-Z Bacon is going to pick up 1. There's a key for Mike O'Neill in pregame. Keep Mexico City's offense off the field and beat them at their own game.
Yeah, and I want to highlight Jay-Z Bacon. He is responding to the adversity when they brought him in. The league wasn't sure if he was going to be able to compete, and finds himself 8th in the league in yards this season, 2nd in the league with 15 touchdowns on the ground.
2nd and 9 at the 28. Mexico City showing a blitz. They back off. Now a flip out to Bacon. Bacon's got some space, but a beautiful tackle by Liam Ryan on the outside, who's had an impressive season of his own. 3rd and 4.
And last week, Jay-Z Bacon was absolutely sizzling. 18 carries, 192 yards, and 2 touchdowns with a long of 73. I'm sure the Toros are going to try to get him involved in this game.
Handoff to Bacon, and that is a loss or a gain of just 1. Wrapped up there by Skylar Kingsley. And both teams trade 3 and outs.
And it's just the start of the chess match, Cam. Both of these teams' defenses forcing a 3 and out on both of their first drives. And as you mentioned, the game last night, it didn't start off the same way as this game tonight, but I'm sure there's fireworks to be coming soon here in the next 4 quarters.
Dags returns to the 33. Doyle's in the chat tonight, seeing if he can get timed out again like the last time I saw him in the chat. And he obviously missed last night's incredible game where everything was blowing up. Over 100 were here. I don't think you were. Bummer.
He must also miss the last 13 weeks of Impact Monday Spectacular.
That's
that we've
what
been
I'm
putting
saying.
On is. But welcome to the chat, Doyle. Always glad to have you here.
Says Paul. 1st and 10 at the 33, 8:03 to go in the first quarter. Jordan Sight down the field, intercepted at the 50. Returned by Adam Leach. This man has been on fire. Him and along with Delaney Nash, man, his secondary has just been nasty.
Yeah, coming into tonight, Delaney Nash, the interception leader with 9, but Adam Leach now tying him with his 9th interception on the season. And this Toros secondary is dangerous, trying to make the push for number 1 in interceptions this season and getting the ball right back for Marcus Dunhill here, trying to take the first swing and put the first points up on the board.
They've really come on strong late this season. 9th in tackles, 9th in sacks, 5th in passes defended, 2nd in picks, 7th in defensive touchdowns. Fort Worth, a top 10 defense for sure, as that pass from Dunhill is swatted away by Dexter Jackson. Let's meet the rest of the Fort Worth Toros offense. Dunhill and Bacon are joined by Aaron Alexander in the backfield at fullback. A talented quad of wide receivers, John Fullerton, Cade Stevens, Charlie Baker, and Stephen Hacker. Tight end is Robert Garrett Jr., the Cowboy. And the left side of the line, the strength, Emilio Penda and Frank Burks on the line, a pair of 6'6" left tackles and guards respectively. Outside, Hacker, first catch, 4-yard pickup, 3rd and 6.
Stephen Hacker, get ready to hear his name a lot tonight. Last week, not his best performance. He still had 9 receptions, 45 yards, and a touchdown. But on the season, he's trying to get to 1,400 passing yards here tonight and has 12 touchdowns, which is 2nd best in the league so far through 13 weeks.
7:23 to go in the first quarter, a scoreless game. Fort Worth driving, outside Stevens. And he was inbounds, but he fell over. 4-yard pickup to the 26-yard line, 4th and 2. They'll have to settle for 3.
And in a game that with this much on the line for both of these teams, I am sure that both teams will take any points they can get. And we've seen in the past between these. Whoa, looks like they might be going for it, Cam. You're trying to get them to jump.
Maybe 4th and 2. I don't think anybody's buying it. You know, the stadium said 4th and 1, but it's clearly a 4th and solid 2. Mexico City's not falling for it here at Estadio Matt Wilson. And Fort Worth will burn an early timeout. Rose from 43 yards, 30 seconds behind schedule.
And it's going to be interesting to see if them burning that timeout here early in the first quarter will have any repercussions here as the first half comes to an end. But great job for Mexico City, showing discipline, not jumping off sides. And as you mentioned, we're going to see Rose with a field goal attempt here with a chance for the Toros to take an early 3-0 lead.
43-yarder, 6:42 to go in the first. Amelia Rose from right in between the hash marks. The right-footed kicker on a bad snap will get it up and through. Fort Worth has your first points on the board, turning the Jordan Sipe interception into 3 points. 3-0 Fort Worth.
And that's going to be the 17th field goal made from Amelia Rose this season. Has only missed one on the season. So great job this season here. 17 for 18 now so far in the season.
Kick is away. Jeffrey Daggs on the return. 2 yards deep from his own end zone. Daggs wrapped up pretty quickly. Only out to the 20-yard line. Last Mexico City drive went 3 plays, 8 yards. But 12 of those came on a desperate third down throw from Jordan Sipe. Ray Bentley with the 4-yard loss. Haven't seen much of Phoenix Jones either. Got to get the ground game going.
Most definitely. And this season, they're the second best rushing offense in the league. So you definitely got to get your running backs involved here on this drive.
Handoff. Phoenix Jones breaks a tackle. Gets 9 yards on the play. Wrapped up there by Delaney Nash. Let's meet the rest of the Fort Worth Toros defense on the line. Jeff Duffy, Jerry D. Gond, and Luther Gond, who've been playing out of their minds over the last few weeks. And defensive tackle Melt Gibson. Linebackers are E.K. Vincent, Noah Regier, and J.L. Browning. Corners Adam Leach, Remington James, Aiden Davis. And your safeties Ben Stone and Delaney Nash. Handoff, Jones didn't get it. Lost a yard. Fort Worth's defense all over it so far tonight. Luther Gone, Noah Regier combined for the stop. 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and big-time players on this Toros defense. You have Aiden Davis, second in the league in passes deflected. Delaney Nash now tied with Adam Leach with 9 interceptions each. Just big-time players on this Toros defense.
Sipe outside to Bentley. He's got a first down. First swing of the night. Mexico City gets the offense moving.
And this is what is Mexico City's bread and butter. Jordan Sipe's favorite target, Ray Bentley. Those swing passes to the outside, catching his 80th reception on the season. Headed into tonight and this week was good for 12th in the league.
Halfway through the first quarter, so far controlled by the Fort Worth Toros. They are 4.5-point favorites tonight, over under 59.5. Jack Stata expecting points this evening. Jordan Sipe fires it outside, caught by Lockett. Lockett turning the corner, but is stuffed out of bounds at the 48-yard line. That's Aiden Davis in his 7th SFL season with the stop after a 9-yard gain.
And I'd like to highlight all of the returning players from these teams, the former All-Stars in this matchup tonight, Cam. There has been 35 different players, or 35 selections between both of these teams for All-Star games.
Hand off to Jones, and how is that a loss of 1? I don't know about that spot. Nash with the stop, but it'll bring up another 3rd down for Mexico City.
Yeah, it looked like Phoenix Jones may have gotten that first, but his knee must have been down, and the refs are seeing something that we couldn't see up here in the booth.
3 in the backfield now for Mexico City as they try to convert and cross the 50 for the first time. That's Jones, and that's a first down. Not much looks like it's going to come easy tonight for the Aztec offense. Fort Worth flying around.
That is a strong run from Phoenix Jones. Headed into week 14, 254 carries, 2nd in the league, pushing 1,200 rushing yards, which was 5th in the league with 1,161 rushing yards.
Flip out to Phoenix Jones. This time he got rid of 1, but then Aiden Davis brings him down. Davis has come to play outside the numbers, only a gain of 1.
Yeah, that is a big hit there on Phoenix Jones from Aiden Davis. And this secondary of the Toros, you got Aiden Davis with over 70 tackles, both safeties, Ben Stone, Delaney Nash with over 70 tackles.
3:15 to go in the first. Outside at Ray Bentley. Makes one man miss. Gets 7 to the Fort Worth 41-yard line. This drive humming along for Mexico City, taking up now 9 plays.
And Ray Bentley, the Hall of Fame running back, 81 targets, 79 receptions. This man does not drop the ball whenever Sipe throws him the ball.
Sipe outside. Yeah, there it is again. That is caught by the tight end, Bill Henry. Sipe has really settled in since he threw the early interception. Now 6 of 8 for 50 yards.
Yeah, Jordan Sipe doing a great job on this drive. Maybe a little anxious coming into the night with playoffs on the line for their team, but that is a great job from Sipe to deliver the ball to Bill Henry, who's now over 500 yards on the season with that catch.
6 completions for Jordan Sipe to 5 different players. Bentley the only one with 2. Now Sipe going to toss it out again. That's hauled in for a 6-yard gain. And slow to get up. Give me a number. Slow to get up. That's a player further down the depth chart for the Mexico City Aztecs. That's number 82, Santiago Lopez with the catch. So now 6 different players with 7 completed passes on the night for Sipe. As Sipe will fire it out of bounds. Looking for Henry, incomplete, 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and trying to find the hole in the defense just 2 plays ago. The same play to Bill Henry, just a little too much sauce on the pass. Bill Henry not able to get his feet in bounds, but we have a 3rd and 4 opportunity here for the Mexico City Aztecs in Fort Worth territory to try to either tie this game up or take the lead themselves.
1:46 to go in the first, 3rd and 4 at the Fort Worth 22. Jordan Sipe nearly sacked, nearly threw a pick. That was Nash jumping the route, and the drive will stall. So nearly the first quarter gone. Mexico City gets 12 plays out of the drive, but they'll have to kick 2. Chaz Blackwater, the kicker.
And just like Toros kicker Amelia Rose, Chaz Blackwater has also only missed 1 field goal on the season. Currently 18 for 19. Let's see if he can make it 19 for 20.
.39 yards away. That kick is good. 3-3 rather. Mexico City ties the ball game up, and just sense the 2 divisional opponents feeling each other out, trying to find. Whoa, Blackwater just squeezed that in there. Just trying to find the edge here early on in this one, although a very fast-moving first quarter.
And Jack's data predicting over-under 59.5 points. First quarter, not necessarily living up to the hype, but we've seen on Monday nights this season that teams can turn it on with the snap of a finger and put points up in a flash.
So 1:34 left. Baker on the return. I think that was Bentley on the tackle there. Kind of an interesting first half. Our longest play was 13 yards. That was the pass to Bill Henry on just a simple out route, as we await these 2 teams to find the openings down the field. 2 in the backfield for Marcus Dunhill. He'll hand it off to J.Z. Bacon. He makes one man miss and picks up 5 to the 27-yard line. Liam Ryan with yet another tackle. The corners in this game against the run and against the running backs have been the storyline of the first quarter.
Yeah, and I think the corners are going to have to step up is on both teams with both of these running backs, and for how much they get the ball running outside and getting these outside dump-off passes. Cornerbacks are definitely going to be busy tonight.
A backwards pass, that's a fumble, and it's picked up by Mexico City. Dunhill threw it behind Bacon. He had to come back for it. That is a legit fumble as the Aztecs are going to get the ball on the Fort Worth 23-yard line.
And Jay-Z Bacon with a rare fumble, his first one on the season, just couldn't come up with the catch and securing the ball, which creates an opportunity for Mexico City if this challenge stands.
Skylar Kingsley on the fumble recovery. If Fort Worth loses this challenge, they'll be down to one timeout this half. It looked easily like a backwards pass to me, throwing from the, oh yeah, it's like 2 yards behind the line. Nice shot.
After review, the play stands.
Yeah, play stands. Fort Worth's going to lose another timeout. They're down to one pretty quickly. And Mexico City takes advantage of a mistake by the Toros. So both teams with a turnover each in the quarter. But now the Aztecs have a chance to take their first lead of the night.
Yeah, and they are in great field position to do so. You're already in field goal range. Only have 23 yards to try to score a touchdown here. Let's see how they're going to respond.
Outside to Bentley, and he's wrapped up by J.L. Browning. Look at the updated quarterback numbers. Not much to say. Loss of 1.
J.L. Browning having himself a season, leading his team in tackles, headed into the game tonight with 87, and making a big hit there on, I believe it was Ray Bentley there on the outside.
Yeah, 3 in the backfield, loss of a yard, as they'll run it this time to Phoenix Jones. Phoenix Jones bowls over a defender. That was Ben Stone. Regier cleans it up at the 15-yard line. Mexico City into the red zone. They'll get one more playoff before the end of the quarter.
Yeah, Phoenix Jones not afraid to lower his shoulder there against Ben Stone. And it's wild because Phoenix Jones, not necessarily the biggest running back in the league, but definitely a bunch of power in the way that he runs.
Sipe on 3rd and 2. Dump off to Jones. Race to the sticks. Jones got it. First down of the Fort Worth. 11 to end the quarter. All square at 3. Fort Worth playing for a bye. Mexico City playing to keep playing. You're watching Impact Monday on SFL YouTube. Start of the second quarter. Jordan Sipe and the Mexico City Aztecs trying to take advantage of a Jay-Z Bacon fumble. Just 20 yards of offense for Fort Worth in that first quarter. Aztecs will hand it off to Jones, and Jones is hit behind the line. How often do you see that, especially on a stretch play, strong side? Luther Gond, another tremendous play.
Yeah, Luther Gond has been sensational this season for the defensive line of the Toros with his 17th tackle for loss, 16th in the league.
Jordan Sipe out of the shotgun, and that pass is hauled in for a 6-yard gain. That is another different receiver to make a catch tonight. John Sparata at tight end. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different players with a catch tonight for Jordan Sipe on 10 completions, 3rd and 5 at the 6.
And Jordan Sipe doing a great job getting everyone involved on the offense so far.
Sipe, the throw hit at the line of scrimmage, off a helmet, and nearly picked off. If Jerry D. Gond would have followed up what David Ware did last night and picked that ball off a helmet, I would have lost it. Another field goal coming for Blackwater.
And it would have been even crazier if he was able to take that, as he's a defensive lineman. David Ware's just a linebacker, so he's a little quicker, but to see the big man pick it off of after the ball hit a helmet would have been an incredible sight to see.
Fort Worth's defense stands in the red zone again. If you took the under, you're feeling good about yourself tonight, as Blackwater's field goal is good, 6-3. Mexico City takes the lead over Fort Worth. And Mark Lopez in the stats truck is telling us we are 1 block away from a bingo. If you don't know, about the Mark Lopez head of statistics bingo card that happens behind the scenes, first of all, it's always great to be a part of SFL production. Join the stats team, join the broadcast team, get involved. I believe we have the most fun of anyone in the league. But Mark Lopez doing wonders for our entertainment behind the scenes tonight. And all we need is a face mask penalty for a bingo. Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis will have more on that at the half.
Yeah, and to get a bingo in the first half, all it takes is a face mask penalty. But don't want to see any of these players get hurt from a little rough defensive play there.
1st and 10 of the 21. Dunhill's going to start empty, 5 wide. Deep shot, Hacker. The pass is knocked up in the air and incomplete. Gerard Brody smacks it down, and Hacker gets shown the scoreboard by Matthew Alvarado. 2nd down.
And a quiet first half from this Toros offense. Marcus Dunhill trying to catch the Aztecs off guard there with a deep pass to Stephen Hacker, who has been sensational to watch this season and having one of the best seasons that a receiver can have.
2nd and 10 for Fort Worth. Dunhill back to pass again. Finds Robert Garrett Jr. until he didn't. Pass incomplete. Knocked away by John Fowler. Garrett Jr. couldn't absorb the hit. Dunhill is just 3 for 7 now. It's 3rd and 10. Fort Worth's 0 for 2 on 3rd down.
That was a great play there from John Fowler, getting his 4th pass deflection on the season. Having a pretty quiet season, but a successful season for this Aztecs defense with 50 tackles and 6 tackles for loss to add on.
5 wide, and Stevens beat his man off the line, but instead the pass is thrown to Baker for the 1st down. Charlie Baker's first catch of the night. I was focused on Cade Stevens beating the bump. Either way, Toro's 1st down.
And that was just a great play, as we're going to see again. Marcus Dunhill with the pump fake to draw the defenders away from the receiver and throwing a bullet to Baker there to move the chains and try to jumpstart this offense and score the first touchdown of the game.
Mike O'Neill, best thing in the chat tonight. It's insane how close this game between Mexico City and Fort Worth always is. And the reason why it's the best post of the night, I'll talk about here after this play. That's Hacker for a gain of 3. The reason why it's the best post of the night is because the last time these two teams played, Fort Worth crushed Mexico City 52-28, and that makes Mike O'Neill look like a fool. And I never miss a moment to do that since he's always so dang smart all the time. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, and Mike O'Neill, big part of the Impact Monday spectacular here that we've had this season, and with keys to both of these teams winning, you just gotta score the points that you need, and that both teams only relying on field goals so far.
Bacon 1st down to the 50. These two offenses have rendered me to just roasting people in the chat. Our longest play of the game is now up to 17 yards. That was the Baker catch on 3rd down.
And it looks like Fort Worth's trying to possibly take a shot. It couldn't come down with that deep play to Stephen Hacker, but moving the ball pretty effortlessly here on this drive.
3 receivers, 2 to the right, and Dunhill is sacked. Spot route beaten. Dan Tritz gets tacos and a sack in the 1st half.
And Marcus Dunhill is not an easy quarterback to bring down. 8th in the league in fewest times sacked this season. That's only the 16th time Dunhill's been brought down in a game this season.
2nd and 14 to the Fort Worth 46-yard line. $1 super chat from Doug Day. Thank you, Doug. As Dunhill's pass fires outside to Hacker, 1st down. The Aztec 40. Hacker's 3rd catch of the night.
And you gotta get Stephen Hacker involved. When you have a prime time receiver like him on your team, who's been thrown and targeted 131 times this season, you gotta get him involved when you have a 1st round bye right in front of you with a win.
82 to 58 in yards. Both teams averaging 3.3 yards per play. Jay-Z Bacon is crushed at the line by Alvarado. No gain, 2nd and 10.
That's a big play there from Alvarado to be able to bring down Jay-Z Bacon there. And Alvarado last week had a pretty good game. 5 tackles and a tackle for loss as well.
Bacon lost a yard. Another TFL for Mexico City tonight. That's their second. Fort Worth already has 5. Back to Mike O'Neill's point from earlier. I mean, 3 of the first 4 meetings were decided by 6 points or less. And these teams just met 4 weeks ago. Fort Worth had 52, and they have 3 halfway through the second quarter. It's amazing what can happen in a month.
Playing great so far.
Press coverage. Dunhill down the field, caught. First down of the Mexico City 19. Charlie Baker. Big play Baker here in the first half.
Yeah, and after last week's 28-17 win over the Motor City V8s, Charlie Baker, 0 targets, 0 receptions, 0 yards, already getting involved early in this game tonight.
5 wide. 3 to the right of Dunhill. More press for Mexico City. Dunhill steps up in the pocket, and Dan Tritz gets some again. Taco Monday. 1.5 now for Dan officially.
And another player last week, a little quiet on the stat sheet. Dan Tritz, no statistics recorded, already making a huge impact for the Aztecs defense.
Empty again. This time Aztecs drop into a zone on 2nd down and 11. Dunhill sacked again. Dan Tritz not going to split that one. 2.5, and he bends down and talks to him.
Yeah, he is most definitely letting Marcus Dunhill know that he's going to be here all night tonight. Getting pressure on the quarterback is exactly what Mexico City needs to do to stop an elite quarterback in Marcus Dunhill.
3rd and 17. Watch 77 to the right of the line. Dunhill, deep shot passes. Touchdown, Hacker! Hack attack gets our first score of the night. Whoa! Steven breaking out the moves.
And you might think by the numbers that this guy puts up that you would think he's hacking, but I assure you he's not. That is a great catch there from Steven Hacker to score the first touchdown of the game. We have a 9-6 Toros lead with a chance for a 10-6 ball game here in the first half.
Boy, did Fort Worth ever need that. Dunhill starts 8 for 12 for 95 yards and a touchdown, despite getting taken down 3 times. Steven Hacker's tremendous season continues. Extra point for Amelia Rose is good. 10-6, Toros back in front. I think both of these teams can be pretty proud of how they played in this first half.
Most definitely. It's been mainly a defensive battle. A lot of pressure on the quarterback to throw the ball. And after being sacked 3 times that drive, Marcus Dunhill able to deliver an absolute dime to Steven Hacker for that touchdown.
$5 super chat from Doug Day says, roast me, Cam. Roast me. Okay, man who asks every... this is why I'm not a professional comedian. Give me $5 more, I'll do it again. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Doug, basically you ask every sentence you ask a question. But I now feel like giving that $5 back to you because I couldn't get the word out even when I tried a second time. I'm tired. What a week. Yeah, fumbling hard is right. Out to Buford Van Dam. Picks up 4.
And Doug Day, after a big promotion, coming in with the super chats here tonight. $1 and a $5 super chat.
Now I'm getting booed.
Everyone watching, keep them coming. SFL community, what are we doing?
Yeah, maybe I'll do better next time.
So far, after last night, I'm sure Carolina's running back to the ATM trying to get a little bit more to super chat.
We are at 100 for the second consecutive night, so That's great to see. 5:06 to go in the first half, and Phoenix Jones is dumped at the line of scrimmage. That'll set up a third down. Duffy on the tackle. And already for Mexico City, this is the 8th third down they've faced in this first half.
And Sipes done a great job so far in this game converting third downs, just unable to find that one play that they need it's really going to open the game up for them.
Sipe against the blitz, caught. Nick Lockett, perfect read to the Aztec 38-yard line through right where it came from. DJ's now booing me for $4.99. That's the first time I could say I've ever been paid to be booed. I guess me and Goodell now have that in common.
The DJ Kilgannon line. So he's getting ready to get his opportunity in the SFL, taking the field here soon next month.
We'll see a DJ in the minors here in a few weeks. Sipe. Back to pass. Nick Lockett. First down to the Mexico City, or to the Fort Worth 44-yard line, rather. That's a pickup of 18 on the play. Under 4 to go.
And outside of Ray Bentley's receiving game, with the 79 targets coming into the night, Nick Lockett, the receiver one from Jordan Sipe and the Aztecs, 64 receptions, 750 yards before this game even kicked off.
Broken tackle, Phoenix Jones, first down to the Fort Worth 30. Is T-Pat asking Doug Day about a playoff scenario? Did I just lose my job? Am I no longer, because I can't roast on command, now people want to ask Doug what the playoff scenarios are. Get out of here.
Yeah, and you know what, Cam? If you can't start pulling through with these roasts, we might have to figure something out here.
Dang, Paul. You got me on that one. 3:15 left to go in the first half. Fort Worth 10, Mexico City 6. But boy, the Aztecs are driving. Sipe hit as he threw. Out to Jones. Jones makes a man miss. And then wrapped up by 2. Fort Worth out here hitting. 4-yard gain for Jones. $10 super chat from Mike O'Neill. Agree that S20, that's season 20, is drunk. It was, what was that game we had earlier this season? Last night was good. Maybe Atlanta Indy in the third quarter. Maybe it was a little drunk then. Jordan Sipe outside, caught by Terrell Cooper. Just shy of the first down, so the 9th third down conversion, or 9th third down attempt, rather, for Mexico City coming up.
That's the first catch from Terrell Cooper there. Wasn't able to get the first down, but the way that Mexico City's offense has been playing, they're converting these third downs, but just coming up short here in Fort Worth territory.
3rd and 1 of the Fort Worth 21. 2.5 to go in the second. Handoff. No! Phoenix Jones is picked up and thrown backwards. Jeff Duffy with a loss of 1. And I like the way Paul said it. Nope.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Trying to rush for the first down there, but you find yourself kicking your 3rd field goal of the game. But if you're Mexico City, you're still putting points up on the board. Sure, it's not the touchdowns that you're looking and hoping for, but Mexico City will surely take any points that they can.
Ooh, you almost pulled. You almost pulled one there. We've done that before on this channel. 2-minute break, 2-minute warning here in the second quarter. 10-6 Fort Worth. I think I spent all of my good words last night powering through here in this first half. You're watching Impact Monday on the SFL YouTube. I think people like it, though, when I'm not perfect. What do you think, Paul? $2 super chat from DJ Woods. So does this make me the good DJ? Yay, Cam, yay. You bet it does. Blackwater's kick is good. 10-9. Toros. This game won't be on my reel.
We got a close one here, Cam. 10-9 through the first 2 quarters in action. 2 minutes left. Let's see if the Toros can increase their 1-point lead headed into the locker rooms before halftime.
Oh, I just saw Andy Hamilton's good roast of Doug Day, but time has passed. That was a good one, though. I definitely should have said that. On the return, Charlie Baker picked up and thrown down on the return. That's Marquise Tull with authority. Man, Mexico City's got everybody playing out there tonight.
Yeah, everyone is making an impact for Mexico City here. No matter if they're a contracted player, non-contracted player, everyone getting involved tonight trying to help them reach the playoffs.
Dunhill to pass. Deep. It's caught. Robert Garrett Jr. to the 48-yard line. 25-yard pickup. First down, Fort Worth. That gets him over 100 total yards.
And that was a tremendous job from Robert Garrett Jr. on the post route out to the sideline, going up and coming down with the ball for the second longest play of the night tonight for 25 yards.
Longest play for the Aztecs offense, 18, but Nick Lockett, 39 yards on 3 receptions, has it, their leading receiver. This pass over the middle is caught by Baker, just shy of the first down. Now they're going to go no huddle to the Aztec 42. Empty for Marcus, dangerous with Dan Tritz barreling down on him, but the pass is hauled in once again. That's Baker. Wrapped up by Ben Charbs. Fort Worth moving. First down at the Aztec 32-yard line. Pass caught again. Robert Garrett Jr. picks up a late block down to the 16-yard line. Wrapped up by Brody.
Dunhill turning up the heat here, catching the Aztecs off guard.
And the pressure just not getting there. And instead, another wide open receiver. They're still going. Remember, they only have one timeout due to the lost challenge and the fourth down timeout stoppage. That was Baker. This is Tritz with a sack, his 3rd and a half of the second quarter. 20 seconds left. He's on the right side of the line. Dunhill, end zone, dropped by Garrett, and it's picked off in the end zone. They get nothing.
Wow, what a play and a series of events there. Liam Ryan coming up with the interception on the tip drill. Wow, it fell right into his hands, Cam.
Man, Liam Ryan, right place at the right time. And the last thing Fort Worth thought they were going to get on that drive was 0. Both teams in the red zone have shored up defensively, and Marcus Dunhill, despite 168 passing yards in the first half, just 10 points. As Sipe fires it outside of Phoenix Jones. Jones cuts back inside, looks for contact, and Aiden Davis makes the stop. Aiden Davis, 4th on the team in tackles this season. And my oh my, we just hit halftime. We're not even prepared for Tyler and Curtis just yet, as that is the end of the first half. We'll keep it here. First half thoughts before we send it over to Chris and Tyler for the halftime report. Paul?
First half thoughts. We're watching a great game right now, and we have Mexico City putting it all on the line. They don't want to miss the playoffs. The last time they did that was season 6. We're in season 20, Cam. So to see Mexico City not in the playoffs would be a strange thing. But the Toros here have been playing the Aztecs phenomenally, only with a 10-9 lead with the 1 touchdown to Steven Hacker. But both of these teams, they're not playing bad football. They're just not necessarily converting on all of these opportunities that they've both been given.
Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, Tyler Falk, a.k.a. the Ringmaster, and Chris Curtis, a.k.a. the amazing smooth-skinned Pigman. We'll have halftime analysis of Fort Worth and Mexico City. Mexico City, how dangerous can they be? Should they get in? And free agents pending. The first preview, I was going to say Amazing Albino. It's 2 years ahead or something better. That's all coming up at the APM Music Halftime Report. And that comes your way in about 20 seconds. Get ready, boys. Paul, your key to the second half real quick?
Key to the second half, you gotta, one of these teams is gonna take a chance and throw a deep ball. And as far as who it's gonna be, I think whoever converts on the first deep shot is gonna be the team that is able to finish tonight with a victory.
Fort Worth 10, Mexico City 9. To the boys in the studio for the APM Music Halftime Report.
Well, a low-scoring affair in the regular season finale for the SFL's 20th regular season. Chris Curtis along with Tyler Falcon. Tyler, it is a close one in south of the border, and Mexico City fighting for their playoff lives. Fort Worth is in. They are trying to improve their seeding. Tell me what you saw in the first half and what your feelings are going into the second half.
So what I saw in that first half is, again, a very carbon copy divisional matchup here in the South. The records are tight. The play is tight. Everything is going the way the script normally would, sans for, of course, season 20, as Mike O'Neill would have you believe. Tight, close, one-score affair. That ticks off another checkbox on Mark Lopez's bingo card. The Mexico City's defense is playing to its strengths, right? They know they're not going to be able to really contain too much in the passing play. We saw that on that last 2-minute drill drive where they just kept throwing the ball over the middle, and marching down the field. Just what an interception from Liam Ryan off the tip drill. Yeah. But they have really given Fort Worth's run offense fits. The number one rushing defense in the league, holding teams on about an average of about 57 average rushing yards per game. They're currently only allowing about 14 yards from JZ Bacon here tonight. So Mexico City's doing a really good job. They're keeping the game tight, which is exactly what they need here at home, giving themselves a chance to make it to the postseason. Or will they, for the first time in forever?
Yeah.
Just this I kind of have to agree with Mike O'Neill's chair. Season 20 is drunk at the moment. This is one crazy offseason we are headed towards.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a lot of, besides the fact that the SFL is moving to a new era, you have people potentially moving to new places. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's talk about Mexico City for a second. And should they get in? Let's look into the future. Say they do get past Fort Worth here. Give me your estimation of how far this team can go first season with Jordan Sipe at the helm in the quarterback position for Mexico City.
So it would be a tremendous accomplishment for Jordan Sipe to come in after Matt Wilson, after the greatest quarterback in SFL history, in my personal opinion, and in amongst the opinions of so many others here in this league, to go and lead Mexico City through a very up and down season where they've had to really fight their way tooth and nail to get to this position, where it's been some really interesting losses from Mexico City, which we haven't really seen them really struggle with. Of course, they lost to Baltimore, which it's very tough playing Baltimore, especially early on in a season. But then they drop one to Houston on the road. They have a couple of really good games. Kansas, Charleston, Alamo City, DC wins. But then in that second half of the season, they lose to the Fort Worth Toros. They don't come away with a good one. And of course, they lose to London last week, which puts them in this weird scenario, the 7-4 scenario, where they lose even with a winning record. They're out, which would be something which would be something unheard of, of course, which we only really have started hearing of since Tulsa last season. Can they make a big splash is the big question. Depending on what they're able to do, especially if they're going to play like this, if they're going to keep games tight, who knows what will happen. And the perspective for Mexico City, for them playing, I don't remember exactly who they're playing. I'm trying to get their exact, they would play Tulsa, and Tulsa just had thank you, Cam, just had a really nail biter versus Indianapolis. And they didn't look like they were going to really do anything with that football game until late on that second half. So it would be a very interesting matchup. I'd almost put that game as a toss-up between Tulsa and Mexico City. But if they're able to get past Tulsa, I think they could really make some noise in the postseason, really upset a few teams, and really give confidence to that entire organization with Sipe at the helm.
Giving you some perspective going forward, the last time that the Mexico City Aztecs missed the playoffs, an average gallon of gas in the United States was $2.14. We're talking 7 years ago, 2015, April of 2015. And Kobe Bryant, on this day 7 years ago, played his final NBA game at Staples Center against the Utah Jazz and dropped 60 points. So just to kind of give you some retrospective as to how long ago it was that Mexico City was not in the playoffs, and that very well could happen today, depending on how the second half of this game goes. Next step, let's switch over to Mark Lopez and talk about his bingo card. And Cam, you mentioned this at the during the first half to show kind of what we see every single week that Mark Lopez is involved in the broadcast. He's in the stats truck today, and he gave us this bingo card. As you can see, face mask penalty is one of those ways that a bingo could happen. Otherwise, it looks like every other spot needs about 2. And any sleepers as to what may happen, you think? Probably a stiff arm, I would think.
Actually, Mr. Curtis, we are actually real close to another bingo, because the only receiver contracted target for this entire game. I got 2. We got 2 players that need a target. That's Aaron Alexander, the fullback for Fort Worth, and that's the wide receiver, number 11, John Fullerton, also for Fort Worth. And all you need is a tight end touchdown, especially with hashtag throw it to the tight end Mike Daggs in ownership over Mexico City. I'm pretty sure we'll see a Bill Henry touchdown before too long. I think that actually might get us the bingo rather than the face mask penalty.
Actually, the fullback, by the rule of this bingo card, does not need a target. It says
That's
all wide
true.
receivers and tight ends get a target.
That's true.
Interesting. So that is Fullerton. We're looking at you. So we'll take a look at that. If you guys want to get a copy of the bingo card yourself, no prizes to my knowledge, but either way, you can still get a copy of it from Mark Lopez. I'm sure he will answer quickly with a copy and paste in a DM to you should you want it. So that's something that we can look forward to in this second half. And let's get to something that you have specialized in the last few seasons, and that is the off-season hub. And right now, looks like there are numerous free agents that have already declared that they're going to absolutely be testing. And let's talk about some of your highlights, including a little bit about yourself coming out of Louisiana. You that door's open, and you could be looking to suit up for another roster in season 21.
Okay. I do have some breaking news here on Impact Monday. Right before the game started, Tim TJ Harper of Jacksonville announced that he would be leaving Jacksonville in the offseason. He is now a free agent. And just a minute ago, I'm not kidding you, I got a message from Benjamin Warner of Portland. Benjamin Warner, the wide receiver, and linebacker Khalil Thomas, both out in Portland. That's just some of the headlines we got talking. Of course, we can't go without mentioning the Horrells, a very prominent name here in the SFL. They are all out in Seattle. Another name you will also recognize, or last name, the Menners. They are all out in Houston. This is going to be an insane offseason. I mean, we got the Menners, we got John Neville's leaving Denver. We only have now 1 quarterback, not 2, on the free agent market. Blanton has decided to potentially re-sign with Seattle. He has withdrawn his name from free agency. Cameron Curtis is your lone quarterback on the market at this time. Jay Ballmer announced earlier today that he will be leaving DC at the fullback spot. Devin King, of course, of Denver, is out at the linebacker spot. And then we've got a couple safeties. Indianapolis strong safety Bryant James, along with Bob Funk, another big name here in the SFL. And as you mentioned, partner, Mike Ryan, a.k.a. a player who I am an agent for, is out in Louisiana. And I am no longer the assistant general manager to Louisiana.
On top of that, you did not mention a couple of key wide receivers that are on that list as well. We talked about the Seattle wide receivers, David Gears and Zachary Patton, but one we just saw yesterday going into the playoffs has announced that he is leaving. Jeff Banfield has announced his free agency intentions coming into the offseason in season 21. And then Kendra Wells is out in Canton. So that is a couple of names. And Kendra, of course, formerly Vancouver Legion, who left for Canton and is now looking for a new team. And then William McDowell in Denver looking for a new team as well. So a lot of moving and shaking, it would seem, in the rosters of the SFL going into the offseason. And we wouldn't be able to make it an Impact Monday halftime without one last halftime whipped cream special from Skippy. Go ahead.
Courtesy of Doug Day.
$5 super chat. Thank you, Doug Day. If you would like to get a copy of the Offseason Hub, it is also in general chat. Go ahead and jump in there. Or if you have a free agent announcement of your own, please go ahead and let me know. A special thanks from myself to Zach Holdorf, Jacob Clear, Fox Highwind for helping me out with the sheet this season. If you would like to get involved and help me out with the sheet throughout the entire offseason, please go ahead and let me or one of those impactful gentlemen know. Again, thank you all so much for helping make the Offseason Hub a tremendous success for its third consecutive offseason. Curtis?
Yeah, absolutely. Offseason Hub definitely been a key contributor to the, we'll call it offseason drama, but it's with good intentions. That being said, it is time to get back to Estadio Matt Wilson. It is Mexico City and Fort Worth on the other side. Cameron Irvine, Paul Sarp, bringing us the second half of the regular season finale in the All-Pro Football 2K8 era. Guys, take it away.
There we go. Welcome back to Mexico City, where Fort Worth just returned the opening kickoff to the 18-yard line. I wonder. Oh, he just wiped it off. I was going to say, I wonder if that little bit will still be there in post game, but well, I guess not. Thank you, Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk, great halftime show. Ron Haynes, Mark Lopez, and our stat truck running the bingo sheet. Thank you guys tonight. Paul Sarp, my partner all season long, also with me here tonight with a 2-yard gain to Jay-Z Bacon to start the half. I want to give a personal shout-out on the $5 Super Chat from Doug Day, getting that whipped creaming going for Chris Curtis at the half. And we're settling back into football.
And playoff hopes on the line. And before you said that Curtis wiped that last bit off, I was wondering if he was saving it for the post-game show myself.
Yeah, man. I mean, this guy doesn't let anything go to waste, you know. Hacker with the catch. And it'll set up a 3rd down and 4 at the 25.
And Stephen Hacker not letting anything go to waste either. He is always a player to watch out for, and we've already seen in this first half him score once. I would not be shocked to see him score another one by the time this game's finished.
Bacon on 3rd and 4. Ooh. I don't know. I mean, you only had
another close one.
But do you spend a second half challenge on it, or do you just punt it away?
I think after that first one that they lost, I think they're going to hold on to it as the second half progresses, as we see the punt team come out and no red flag on the field.
Defense playing well, so Fort Worth will trust in that. They'll kick it back to Jeffrey Daggs, and Daggs on the return will be brought down at the 40-yard line. So Wild Card Weekend starts next weekend, Paul. We kick it off Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Next Level Sports. We'll either have London and Vegas, or we'll be going to Vancouver for the Legion and Indianapolis, a rematch of a TV game from 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, and regardless of who we have, these teams, they want to knock Baltimore off the pedestal. So I know every team that is making a push for the playoffs or already in the playoffs most definitely wants to hold the trophy at the end of the season.
Buford Van Dam with a gain of 3 on his first carry. Your postseason predictions have been coming along nicely, Paul. You just have one left. That's Baltimore, the field.
And we saw a few weeks ago, I went with the field. Definitely going to be a tough task for the field. 3-time champions. It's got to be tough going against them, but we've seen teams beat Baltimore 3 separate times now in season 20. So who knows what we're going to see here in this postseason.
Phoenix Jones on the carry picks up 3. So another third down coming up. Andy Hamilton, $5 super chat. Cam, give free agents 3 reasons why Vancouver is a great home for them. We'll get to that here in a moment. 3rd and 4, 8.5 to go in the third. Sight picks up the first down, and Henry's picked up and thrown down by Noah Regier. Henry with that completion. Okay, 3 reasons why Vancouver would be a great place to play. Number 1, they have had a winning record for every season in the last, 4 years, Paul? So that's one reason. All they do is win. Number 2, you can't miss Achilles Papatonis late night jams. That dude is always posting good music in the locker room. And number 3, look at all the cool people on that team. That pass is intercepted as the return is up to the 42-yard line. Then a major hit from the Aztecs. Remington James with the interception for Fort Worth, and that's where the Toros will take over.
Remington James getting the ball back for his team there, intercepting Jordan Sipe for the second time in this game, and just taking an absolute hit there. I'm sure his head's ringing right now on the sideline as he watches Marcus Dunhill and company with another opportunity to put more points up on the board.
He got laid out by the center, Tyler Kane. That's 315 versus 214 on the scale, as Dunhill's pass will be hauled in by Robert Garrett Jr. They're going to mark that a first down, call that a makeup call for the early one, as the Toros enter Mexico City territory.
Yeah, and Marcus Dunhill is not afraid to get his tight end Robert Garrett Jr. involved. Over 50 yards so far through 2.5 quarters. And just like the bingo card said, we're looking for a tight end touchdown here.
Deep shot. Dunhill, I don't know how, to Robert Garrett Jr., who struggled in the first half with hands. Had one off his hands for an interception, dropped one on a big hit. He's come out hot in the third quarter.
Yeah, and taking a look at that replay, I'm just as surprised as you as how Garrett Jr. was able to come down with that ball with a sea of Mexico City defenders around him.
Ben Charbs draped all over him. Dunhill now over 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick tonight. Out to Bacon. Bacon inside the 30, 25. Nearly got the first down before Fowler shoved him out of bounds at the Aztec 21-yard line. A surprising quiet night on the ground for Fort Worth. Bacon just 19 yards on 8 carries. Now 14 yards on 2 catches.
And Jay-Z Bacon was extremely close to making 3 Aztec defenders miss with that spin move. But thankfully for Mexico City, they were able to bring him down.
Dunhill to pass. Bacon running out of room, just had enough. First down. Fowler again ushers him out of bounds to the Aztec 14-yard line. Fort Worth trying to go up 8-4. We'll see. They turned it over in their last red zone trip.
Yeah, and I'm sure after some halftime adjustments, play calls may be a little bit different. That interception in the red zone to end the first half was a little bit unfortunate for the Toros, but let's see how they respond here in the second half.
Dunhill, deep shot, wide open, Hacker, touchdown! Stephen Hacker's second of the night, and Fort Worth takes a 7-point lead.
I'm not sure if there is even a defender in the red zone there. Nobody guarding Stephen Hacker.
Sheesh.
Just all by himself in the back of the end zone with his second touchdown of the night. The Toros increasing their lead here in this third quarter.
Hacker 65 yards on 6 catches. 92 receptions this season. That's 4th. Last week, Hacker with 9 receptions for 45 yards and a touchdown. So eclipsing that mark already. It's been Fort Worth's touchdowns that have been the difference tonight. Mexico City eventually is going to have to find their way into the end zone, likely, as they just have 3 field goals to show for it.
And as we just saw last night, Tulsa found themselves down 10 points against Indianapolis on 2 separate occasions and managed to make it a game to the final seconds in the fourth quarter. So if Mexico City wants to have a chance here, they definitely got to try to find the end zone here on one of these drives.
Marcus Dunhill started 3 for 7. After that, he has now thrown for 16 of his last 17 completed. That stat from Mark Lopez in our stat truck. Excellent viewpoint on that, Mark, because, I mean, he really has started on fire. And the difference is, I mean, when he's had time to throw the football, he's been great. Dan Tritz was a menace in that first half.
Yeah, Dan Tritz with 3.5 sacks. Let's see if this offensive line can try to slow him down.
Jordan Sipe outside to Bill Henry. That pass caught for a 7-yard gain. 105 watching, 26 likes. Come on, folks, smash that like button. 6 to go in the third.
And the way that Mexico City's offense has been playing, they only have 9 points on the board. They're moving the ball efficiently, but just kind of dying at the end of drives in the red zone and as they get into the Toros territory.
4 yards a carry. Jordan Sipe has not taken a sack tonight. 4 yards a play, rather. 2nd and 3. Phoenix Jones is hit by Aiden Davis. There's Davis again. Just before the first half, I was telling y'all, 4th on the team in tackles at corner. This dude hits.
Yeah, a hard-hitting cornerback for sure. We've seen numerous times tonight. Phoenix Jones taking all of these hits. I'm sure that he may be starting to get fatigued after all of these big-time hits, but lucky enough for him, the backfield of Mexico City is truly one of the deepest in the leagues.
45 yards on 11 carries for Phoenix Jones. This time Jones gets the swing, and Regier knocks him out at the 41-yard line. 5-yard gain. 5:14 left.
And one of these times, I feel like the way that the Toros defense has been playing against Mexico City, one of these times Jordan Sipe's going to air one out and possibly catch them off guard. Let's see here how they respond on 2nd and 5.
18 of 24 tonight, 131 yards, does have the 2 picks. Does Jordan. Mexico City needs a win to make the playoffs. If not, Alamo City is in. Bentley's run will bring up a 3rd down and 2. If Mexico City wins, Alamo City is out.
And we see another 3rd and short opportunity for Mexico City. And credit to Fort Worth's defense. They're number 2 in 3rd downs allowed percentage with 48. And you know who's number 1? Mexico City's defense with 46.
3rd and 2. Buford Van Dam with the spin move for the first down. J.L. Browning went flying.
Go ahead and get you some with the fullback spin. Caught the Toros defense off guard. Was thinking maybe Phoenix Jones would maybe get the ball there, but Van Dam runs it right up the middle to convert the first down.
4 receivers, 3 to the right. Play fake from Sipe. He'll dump it off short. That's hauled in by Bartley. 8-yard pickup. Bartley's 2nd catch. Leading receivers Jones with 5 for 20. Michael Percoco, $10 super chat. Shout out to the Stats King, Mark Lopez, and all his efforts over the seasons. Absolutely, and we're still waiting on that bingo tonight. In celebration of all of his achievements. Need that face mask penalty at some point. Handoff, Jones, first down, easy. Beats the blocker even, all the way down to the Fort Worth 31-yard line.
Yeah, got the first down and then some there. In another impressive run from Phoenix Jones. It is clear that he is running with a purpose with these playoff hopes on the line for Mexico City. They find themselves down 8 against the division rival. Definitely trying to get some points on the board if you're Mexico City here.
1st and 10 at the Toro 31-yard line. 3:18 to go in the third quarter. Handoff goes to Jones. Jones protects the football. Hit from behind. Gets 7 more. That's been the difference in the third quarter, getting Phoenix Jones running downhill.
Yeah, and Phoenix Jones only had one defender to break one to the house, and that was a big tackle there and a touchdown saving tackle for the Toros defense.
Out of the gun, Jordan Sipe. Haven't seen this much tonight. 2nd and 3 at the Fort Worth 24. Hit as he threw. Pass is incomplete. What a shot. Put on Nick Lockett, who laid the hit.
Yeah, I was surprised to see
Ben
Sipe
Stone
getting that much power on that throw there after taking a shot himself. But wow, Nick Lockett saving an interception there.
Yeah, ended up playing defense on Stone.
Yeah.
So now 3rd and 3. Mexico City 7 for 11 on third downs, including 2 for 2 in this quarter. Fort Worth 3 of 6. 3rd and 3. Sipe going to throw. Sipe deep. Wide open. Caught. Bartley waiting on a tackle from Davis. 1st and goal at the 7.
Jason Bartley getting things rolling here with his 3rd reception of the night. Moving the chains yet again for the Aztecs. Getting into the red zone here. Trying to make this possibly a tied ball game if they do decide to go for 2.
$9 super chat, Cliff Allen for 9 Zona wins and Eddie's leadership and dedication. I'm sure Eddie's not forgotten in the other super chat shout outs as Phoenix Jones still on his feet. And Jones pushing forward down to the 1. He almost pulled it off 1 yard away from potentially tying. Mexico City wants to go for 2.
Wow, that is a phenomenal run. Phoenix Jones fighting to get in, find his way into the red zone. Only able to get to the 1, but if you're Mexico City, you're in a great position here right now.
3 in the backfield for Sipe. Sipe going to hand it off to Jones. Jones gets in. Touchdown, Mexico City. 17-15.
And that is exactly how Mexico City needed to respond after that Stephen Hacker touchdown in this second half. And let's see here, as it looks like they are going to go for 2 here, Cam.
Going for 2 to try and tie it with 1:41 to go in the 3rd quarter. They're going to go 4 wide with Bentley to the right. 12-play drive, 7 of those runs to Jones for 42 yards. Handed off to Bentley. He got the 2. Brilliant play call there. Ray is in the end zone. We're tied at 17.
And that was a heck of a run from Ray Bentley, the Hall of Famer, to put 2 more points on the board, to tie the ball game up, to essentially wipe out that everything we've seen so far. There's 1:41 left in the 3rd quarter, and we have a brand new ball game.
And look at those stats, 238 to 235 in total yards, taking into account the sacks in the ball game. Both teams a pair of turnovers. Mexico City gets the ground game going. It's Stephen Hacker versus Phoenix Jones right now as Baker gets it up to the 24. And now is about the point in the evening, Paul, where I start to worry about the voice and the head after last night's game. It's coming on.
Yeah, and from what we saw last night, I would absolutely love to see a game finished and to be as close as it was last night, and as we've seen numerous times on Monday night so far in season 20.
Alamo City waiting on waiting on.
Wow.
1st and 10 at the 37. RG3 with the catch, 1st down.
And in this second half, that's the 3rd time that Dunhill has been able to find Robert Garrett Jr., and I have been completely shocked that he was able to even make the completion and get the reception. That's just a great play from Robert Garrett Jr. Now with 5 receptions, 87 yards, averaging 17.4 per reception.
Pins and needles for Alamo City, who's looking for a Fort Worth win to get him into the playoffs, as Dunhill's pass is outside incomplete to Hacker. That's just the 2nd time Hacker's been targeted without a catch, and those stats on the money from Ron Haynes and Mark Lopez.
Yeah, and Stephen Hacker just not able to get a foot in bounds. A little too much power on that throw from Dunhill, but a little second and 10 action here for the Toros.
2nd and 10 at the 37. Dunhill outside to Bacon. Jay-Z down the sideline. Fowler once more out past the numbers to make the stop for this defense.
Yeah, John Fowler in this second half has been all over Jay-Z Bacon, not letting him go anywhere.
3rd down, 3 for 6 tonight. Marcus Dunhill, QBR of 115.1. 3 receivers, 2 to the left. 3-3 look out of the nickel. Dunhill fires down the field, caught. 1st down at the Mexico City 48, too easy. Charlie Baker with the reception, his 6th of the night. That ties him with Hacker.
Yeah, Marcus Dunhill is doing a great job at getting his targets the ball, moving the chains. Don't necessarily have the points to show how successful they've been, but doing a great job here on this drive.
Handoff, Bacon got 1. That ends the 3rd quarter of play. We're all knotted at 17. Get ready for more drama as we find out who's in, who's out, and who's playing next weekend. You're watching Impact Monday on SFL YouTube.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Start of the 4th quarter. Tyler Falk, Chris Curtis back at studio. Cameron Irvine, Paul Sarp here with you. Mark Lopez, Ron Haynes in the stat truck. Still not a bingo tonight. 11 minutes to get it done. 2nd down and 9. Handoff. Bacon, nothing. 3rd and 9 officially coming up, just 2.2 yards per carry. Skylar Kingsley continues his fine evening.
Yeah, and Jay-Z Bacon struggling a little bit on the ground. He does have 4 receptions for 27 yards to add on. But other than that, this linebacking core for Mexico City and the defensive front's been all over Bacon tonight.
Dunhill's pass is intercepted. Picked off by Jonte Jordan. Turnover Toros.
And that is an incredible job from Jonte Jordan to turn the ball over and get the ball back for Jordan Sipe and your offense. Jonte Jordan, a rookie, 2nd round pick number 45. Coming alive here late in the season with their playoff hopes on the line, trying to have an opportunity to make a push for the championship.
His first pick of the season, 1st and 10 at the Mexico City 40, and Phoenix Jones is smacked down after a 1-yard pickup. Razier and Vincent combine on the stop.
And the way this game's been going so far through 3 quarters, Cam, we are most definitely in for another thrilling finish, and I think whoever has the ball last may be the one to win this game.
Sipe to throw down the field, caught at the Fort Worth 42-yard line. Nick Lockett with the catch again over the middle. His 4th, leads the team outside of Phoenix.
Yeah, and after that Jonte Jordan interception, momentum definitely going towards Mexico City at home. And after being down 8 points, they have a tie ball game. You just got an interception. Now you just have to play smart here on this drive and try and take the lead in this game.
4 receivers, 3 to the right side. 6 in the box for Fort Worth. They spread it all out. Sipe waiting in the pocket. Pass nearly intercepted.
Oh.
Aiden Davis could have taken it back all the way. Instead, it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Jordan Sipe is most definitely happy that that one was not intercepted, as that would have definitely resulted in 6 points being added to the scoreboard for Fort Worth.
Second and 10 at the Fort Worth 42. 9:25 to go in a tie game. Final game of the SFL's 20th regular season outside the Bentley. Bentley makes the man miss and then gets decapitated by J.L. Browning. Pickup of 7, another 3rd down coming up.
That was a at least the 9th or 10th massive hit that we've seen tonight. And J.L. Browning might not get it done here this season, but coming close to 500 all-time tackles in his 6 seasons.
Shotgun split, Sipe, first down to Lockett. They are killing Fort Worth on these third down conversions, now 9 of 13.
Yeah, in Mexico City this season, converting third downs, 59%. They are the 4th best team in season 20 on third downs.
4 receivers now, 3 to the left side for Sipe. They're trusting him on this drive after Phoenix Jones got the touchdown to the previous drive. That pass is caught and then nailed by Ben Stone. That's Lopez's second grab.
And I don't know about you, Cam, but I'm hearing all of these hits up here in the booth, and man, I'm just glad I'm not on the field right now taking these hits.
Down 8:06 to go. This fourth quarter, like the first, evaporating. 7th play of the drive for Mexico City, which started 3 minutes ago. Handoff, Phoenix Jones got the first down to the Toros 17.
And it's incredible what Jordan Sipe's been able to do this season, stepping into some heavy shoes there to fill, and he is living up to the expectations, and this is exactly why Mexico City decided to bring Jordan Sipe in this season.
They're putting it in his hands here on this drive. 1st and 10 of the Toros 17. Shotgun, Sipe goes underneath, pass caught, and just shy of the first down to the 8-yard line. That is Terrell Cooper with the catch. A defender dove for the play and missed.
Terrell Cooper now finds himself over 40 receptions on the season and brings Mexico City to a 2nd and short opportunity, and they have just been doing great here on first downs tonight.
7 minutes left. Sipe, play fake. Sipe going to the end zone. It's caught! Touchdown! Terrell Cooper!
Back-to-back receptions for Terrell Cooper, and helps his team take the lead in the 4th quarter with an absolute dime from Jordan Sipe there. Chance to make this a 24-17 ball game. A little under 7 minutes left. Still a lot of time left, Cam. Gonna be an exciting finish.
Alamo City that much more nervous as they are out with a Mexico City win. Fort Worth trying to get that first-round bye so they don't have to face Ryan Roosevelt, Jeff Banfield, Colin Pearson, those fierce Indianapolis Ramblers. Kick is good from Blackwater, 24-17. If Mexico City wins, they will await Tulsa. If they don't, Tulsa will head to Carolina. Charlie Baker's had a great night receiving, 80 yards, 6 receptions. Hasn't had as much luck in the kick return game. Now angling right, will get cut down at the 24-yard line. That's Jeffrey Daggs on the tackle. 6:50 to go. Marcus Dunhill gets his shot, QBR 97.3, but Jordan Sipe gets his first passing touchdown of the night. What a time to do it.
Absolutely, and Jordan Sipe just delivering a beautiful pass to regain this lead, and now it's up to the Mexico City defense to come through for him.
Dunhill hit as he threw. Dan Tritz, no sack, but more of an impact on this evening. It's interesting, Mexico City #1 in sacks with 47, but Patterson and Blaylock been a little quiet tonight. It's been all Tritz. They just can't, they don't have an answer for him.
Absolutely no answer for Dan Tritz. 3.5 sacks on the night. Almost found himself with his 4.5 sack.
2nd and 10. Fort Worth just has not been able to get Bacon going tonight. The run game, and Dunhill pays the price. Another sack, this time of the linebacker variety. Check that. Bernard Patterson, we were just talking about him, makes the play.
Yeah, right on cue. Bernard Patterson bringing Dunhill down. Dunhill almost was able to get that ball released and may have been able to find an open receiver, but incredible job there from Patterson with his 12th sack on the season.
3rd and 16. This is the moment for Marcus going deep to Hacker. It is dropped!
Oh, he dropped it.
Dropped by Hacker on the sideline. Oh.
Wow. That is something we are definitely not used to seeing. Steven Hacker easily had the first down, just not able to bring the ball down as he juggled it, and then was tackled out of bounds and not able to convert that. Gives the ball back to Mexico City, who just got a 7-point lead. And if Mexico City's able to put more points on the board, that'll make it a 2-possession game for Fort Worth to try to get back into it.
Fort Worth -6 yards in the 4th quarter. That was their first 4th quarter drive. Mexico City in their last 2 drives following the Jordan Sipe interception has a 12-play 79-yard touchdown drive and a 9-play 60-yard touchdown drive. Those 2 drives took 4 minutes 28 and 3 minutes 33 off the clock. There's just 6:11 left. Fort Worth needs a stop, and they need it now.
Absolutely, and if Jordan Sipe can lead another drive, as you mentioned those previous drives, that is exactly what they're looking to do as they try to take as much time off the clock as they can.
Keeping it in Sipe's hands. Pass is incomplete. Nearly a PI. No call. Browning knocks it away. Great stat from Mark Lopez in the stat truck. 22 yards lost on sacks tonight for Marcus Dunhill. That's more yards than Jay-Z has on the ground this evening.
Wow. Yeah, Jay-Z Bacon just not able to find his footing in this game, and that forces the Toros to rely more in the passing game with Marcus Dunhill.
Offside. Fort Worth crumbling here in the 4th quarter. Lockett first down. Great note from Eddie Gage popping in. If you recall, Paul, on Impact Monday, Fort Worth and London, remember the deep corner route from Hacker that he dropped that would have potentially tied the game and forced overtime. Very similar play there in crunch time for Fort Worth here in Mexico City tonight.
For sure, and Steven Hacker most definitely wishes he could get that one back, just like that one against London just a few weeks ago. But the Fort Worth Toros defense, they have to step up here, and somebody is going to have to make a big play.
Sipe outside, out of bounds. And I'm a little surprised they're not going to Phoenix after he had that really great drive 2 series ago. This is the time to run some clock. I'm not going to question Mexico City, though, in this half because they played a brilliant second half.
Yeah, after a pretty much somewhat even first half, the momentum has shifted towards Mexico City, and they've been playing pretty much flawlessly here in the second half.
Hand off to Jones, picks up 1. Mexico City's been tinkering with this offense all season long. Remember, Paul, earlier in the season, they were too conservative. They were running on 4th and 7 and 3rd and 15 and all sorts of stuff. And now here they're trusting Jordan Sipe for the most part. 3rd down and 9. He's out of the gun. 5:23 to go, trying to pick up a first down outside of field goal range in a 1-score game. Sipe has not been sacked all night. That will continue. Running backwards is Henry to the 34. They do not give him forward progress because he ran back under his own power, and that makes things very interesting here for a potential Blackwater field goal.
Yeah, it's definitely...
They're going to punt.
And just a little bit out of field goal range there. And if they were able to possibly take a chance there and convert that, it would have been a 10-point game, 2-possession ball game, but giving the ball right back to Marcus Dunhill and the Toros.
If he falls forward, I think that, wow, this is a great punt. And did he get it out? Oh, my gosh! Just batted out of bounds! Oh, man,
wow.
Dorian Locke, you're kidding me. Smoke him and stick him in a bagel.
Close.
Golly.
Extremely close to a perfect punt there. pin him right in the corner on the 1-yard line, but sliding into the end zone as he recovered the ball gives Fort Worth the ball on the 20-yard line.
4:41 left. Fort Worth catches a huge break. That pass is caught by Hacker. Hauls that one into the Fort Worth 32.
And after a missed opportunity from Stephen Hacker on that last drive, making sure to secure the ball here and helps his team move the chains as the Toros fight back from a 7-point deficit, trying to tie this game left with a little over 4 minutes in the fourth quarter.
Dunhill, 23 of 32, 275. 3 receivers, 2 to the left of Dunhill. Dunhill hit as he threw. Wide open, Charlie Baker. Baker's running. The ref gets destroyed by Jeffrey Daggs. He would not get out of the way. Baker gets all the way into scoring position.
And what a route from Baker there. Post up the middle and just running over R43 and running past Mexico City defenders. That is exactly what the Toros needed on this drive to try and even it up.
Baker gets 15 yards off of the official in question. Baker 120 on 7 receptions. They hand it off to Bacon now, a 2-yard pickup. 3:42 to go, a touchdown ties.
And the clock is ticking. Fort Worth trying to get a first-round playoff bye. Mexico City needs a win to get in, and these players are playing like everything is on the line tonight.
Handoff, Bacon thrown down at the 27. It's just bizarre, right, Paul? You just completed 3 passes in a row. Bacon's got 2 yards a carry. You run him twice.
Yeah, and now they find themselves in a 3rd and long situation after that last 3rd and long scenario where Hacker dropped it and couldn't convert. Let's see how they respond.
3 minutes left. Hacker caught, touchdown! It's his 3rd! An extra point away from tying the game.
And that's another hat trick on the season for Stephen Hacker. The same exact route on that last drive and able to secure the ball there and give your team an opportunity to tie the ball game here late in the fourth quarter.
$5 super chat for Jeff Banfield. What an APF farewell season. The playoffs are going to be lit. Gunny, $20 super chat. Playoffs or not, honored to be in Alamo City Artillery. Pleasure to share season 20 with my teammates. The pleasure's all ours. Mr. Gunny McGuire. Love Firewatch. Can't wait for next week. Extra point for Amelia Rose to tie the game with 2:53 to go in the fourth quarter. It's up and it's good. 24 all.
Just like we saw, Cam, Mexico City evened it up at 17. Fort Worth answering a brand new ball game. Only 2:53 left. Who's going to be the team that comes out on top tonight on Impact Monday?
Last night's final was 26-24. Here we are tied at 24 as Amelia Rose kicks it off with 2:53 to go to Jeffrey Daggs. Daggs on the return. Jeffrey to the 20 and stuffed. Jordan Sipe back out onto the field. His QBR's jumped up to 75. It was in the 50s just about 10 minutes ago. 28 of 38 for 227.
Yeah, and this is possibly the biggest game in Jordan Sipe's young career. And he's had a tremendous season. 74% completion, 5th in the league. Let's see if he can stay efficient here on this drive.
Sipe going to throw. Sipe outside. Caught. Bentley turns the corner. And Browning pushes him out at the 30. A 9-yard gain. There's the updated quarterback numbers. Does stop the clock.
Yeah, and if I'm Jordan Sipe here, I'm playing my game. Going to let the game come to me. And I have an opportunity here, if I'm Jordan Sipe, to have a game-winning drive, potentially, and a chance to take your team to the playoffs.
On the season he takes over for Matt Wilson, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Sipe deep, and it's incomplete, knocked away. Aiden Davis becomes the story on that play. He has had a fantastic game.
Hayden Davis, he's the game-leading tackler with 7, tied with Noah Razier, but a great job there, saving what was essentially a touchdown there for Mexico City with his second pass deflection of the night.
Sipe again on 3rd and 1, his 41st attempt of the night. 7 in the box, they rush 4, Sipe outside, wide open, caught, first down, Buford Van Dam down the sideline to the 44.
And we saw earlier in this half, Cam, Buford Van Dam converting a crucial 3rd down for Mexico City, and just right there on that play, picks up another chunky yards there, making a defender miss as he goes out of bounds, stopping the clock.
That is back-to-back plays now that Mexico City has halted the ticking time. 2:36 left. Both teams, all 3 timeouts. Mexico City needs a win to make the playoffs. If they lose, they're out. Alamo City is in instead. Fort Worth needs a win for a first-round bye. Otherwise, they play next week against Indy. His pass is caught by Lockett. Out of bounds again. 3 straight times to stop the clock. 2:33 left. Lockett up to 79.
Jordan Sipe is doing a fantastic job at attacking the outside, and receivers they keep attacking the sidelines and find themselves open play after play on this drive.
2 backs, 2 receivers for Sipe. Now 30 completions. Sipe to throw. Sipe hit as he threw, pass caught. That's Bartley's 4th of the night. First down. Clock continues to move to the Fort Worth 42, but Mexico City's almost there.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if Mexico City is going to take this to the 2-minute warning or not, or try to get another play in before the 2-minute warning.
Maybe a run here. 2:04 left. Handoff, Jones hit at the line. Another crusher from J.L. Browning, his 8th tackle tonight. 120-second stand between us and the playoffs. You're watching Impact Monday on SFL YouTube. What a last month we have had, Paul Sarp. Man,
yeah,
these
it's
games
been a
have been
wild
insane.
one. It's definitely a great finish as the APF send-off is coming to an end here, and we got 2 more minutes left of regular season action, and we got a tie ball game here, Cam.
Sipe out to Bentley. Bentley gets a block into field goal range down to the 25-yard line. Sipe now 34-45, making a legend out of himself here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and if Jordan Sipe can lead his team to points on the board here, it will cap off a tremendous accomplishment for him as a player and for the Mexico City Aztecs as they have a chance to sneak into the playoffs in the final minute and a half of season 20.
If I'm Fort Worth, I may want them to score here. I mean, they're basically in game-winning positions. Sipe outside to Bentley. Bentley down to the 20. That's going to keep the clock moving. No, Fort Worth's going to burn a timeout. Yeah, the Toros are in deep trouble right now.
Most definitely, as you mentioned, if I'm the Toros, I possibly think that I might want them to score as well. When you have such a high-flying offense with Marcus Dunhill and you have Steven Hacker, who already has 3 touchdowns, why not try to let him score here so you can just have the ball back and the fate of the season is in your hands?
2nd and 5 of the 20. Sipe going to throw out to Jones. He dropped the ball. Incomplete. It stops the clock. Oh, a critical drop from Phoenix.
And now it is 3rd and 5 with a clock stopped and the Toros with 2 timeouts left rather than only 1 timeout left. If they can get a stop here and force a field goal, that puts Marcus Dunhill in prime position to lead his team down the field for a game-winning drive.
Jay Ballmer, 199 Super Chat. Let's go Mexico City. Beat this Texas team. 3rd and 5 at the 20. Sipe going to throw. Sipe's pass is incomplete. It stops the clock again. Nick Lockett was the intended receiver, and Fort Worth will get a chance to win the game with a touchdown.
Wow.
Woo!
I can't believe that they threw another incomplete pass to stop the clock there. You only needed 5 yards. Phoenix Jones averaging 3.5, so not necessarily that 5 yards that they needed, but to take some more time off the clock is what I may have done there.
Chaz Blackwater, 37-yard field goal attempt to give the Aztecs the lead. Yes, 27-24, 1:15 left. Fort Worth with all 3 timeouts. And we have come full circle, Paul. Mexico City in week 1 beat Carolina 27-24. One of Carolina's 5 losses. You can also throw the Arizona loss of Matt South hurt in there. I mean, that Carolina team's a good squad. Mexico City needed overtime for that one. We could be going to overtime again. Who knows? 1:15 to decide.
And it's all in the hands of Marcus Dunhill right now with 1:15 left in the 4th quarter. A first-round bye at stake here for the Toros.
Baker gets it up to the 23. 1:11 left. Here's a look at the stats. 372 to 341. Fort Worth still averaging 6 yards a play. But keep an eye on that defensive front for Mexico City. Dan Tritz has 3.5 sacks. Patterson's got 1 as well. 5 total tonight on Dunhill. They have to protect him. 1st and 10 at the 23. 1:10 to go. Pump fake, Dunhill. Pass knocked down. Jonte Jordan, who had his first career pick earlier tonight with the SWAT.
And the rookie, Jonte Jordan, absolutely showing out tonight. We saw the interception from him earlier, but a huge pass deflection there. And if you're Mexico City, you're up 3 with a minute left. You just got to either force a turnover or get them to 4th down and hold them on that 4th down to secure this ball game.
1:08 to go. Fort Worth needs a win to get a first-round bye. In the final game of the SFL regular season, Mexico City needs a win to get in. Otherwise, Alamo City gets it. Deep shot. Dunhill caught.
Whoa!
Caught down the sideline. Stevens. Cade Stevens, 30, 20, 10. It's a touchdown with 58 seconds to go. They've done it again.
Woo, woo, woo. Boy, Cam. A quick touchdown there for Marcus Dunhill. Throwing an absolute dime to Cade Stevens. 2nd reception on the day, and it couldn't have came at a better time. 2 receptions now for 81 yards and a touchdown. 77 yards. That'll give the Fort Worth Toros the lead once more.
Cade Stevens potentially exercising some of his own personal demons in this stadium after being ruled out of bounds in a playoff game when playing for Vancouver. This time he stays in, gets down the sideline. Dunhill's up to 419, but Fort Worth gives the ball back to Jordan Sipe to try and be the hero in Estadio Matt Wilson with 58 seconds to go.
Wow, what a 4th quarter this has been. And wow, man, this is just a shocking finish. The final game of season 20 regular season. It's all coming full circle here, and Jordan Sipe is the man with all eyes on him right now on this drive.
0 in the chat. Can't believe that there's 120 plus people watching this. Well, almost 140 now. Maybe you've been missing out, my friend. $5 super chat from Curtis. Cade Stevens definitely in bounds. $1.99 super chat from DJ. Maybe I was wrong about that whole Mexico City winning thing. I think Jeffrey Daggs return up to the 24-yard line. 54 seconds to go in the 4th. Back to Jordan Sipe as we are 1.5 points away from the over. Paul, all those under bettors
Right
earlier tonight, man, they were sitting pretty until all of a sudden.
Yeah, both teams lighting it up here in this second half, and let's see what Jordan Sipe is made of here on this drive and see if he can push his team forward into the playoffs.
39 points in the second half. That first pass is incomplete. Looking for Cooper inside. Stops the clock, 51 seconds left. Can feel the tension. You can hear a pin drop in the stadium right now.
Yeah, most definitely. And that touchdown wasn't the worst thing for the Mexico City. Now they just have to drive down the field and score a touchdown themselves with time left on the clock.
The longest pass of the night for Mexico City is 18 yards. They need a touchdown. They don't need this. It's picked off! And that may have just shut the door on the Aztecs' playoff streak. Fort Worth needs one first down to end it. Off his back, Remington James, pick number 2.
Wow. That is not the throw that Mexico City needed. Remington James giving the ball back to Marcus Dunhill with a chance to close this game out and knock Mexico City out of the playoffs for the first time in 16 seasons. Wow.
Handoff, J.Z. Bacon needs a first down, got 9, his longest run of the night.
And what a time for the longest run of the night from J.Z. Bacon. You give your team a chance to convert a 2nd and 1. All you need is a first down. All you need is 1 yard to secure your first round bye and give you a week's time to prepare for your first playoff matchup of this offseason.
1 yard sends Alamo City to Minnesota next week, and Fort Worth to a mini vacation, awaiting an opponent in the quarterfinals. They're going to throw it. Dunhill to Bacon. Nobody saw that coming. Bacon scores! Touchdown, Fort Worth!
J.Z. Bacon on consecutive plays with his 2 longest plays of the game, securing the first round bye for the Toros and knocking Mexico City out of the playoffs for the first time in 16 seasons, Cam.
Well, I hate to say it, but there is 35 seconds left. I mean, we've seen it all over the last 10 years here in the SFL, and I mean, if Jeffrey Daggs were to somehow get a return, I mean, he hasn't looked super dangerous all night, but if he gets a return, things could get crazy. Without that, though, Paul, I'm with you, because Mexico City has not had an explosive pass play all night long.
Yeah, with the longest pass for Mexico City still at 18 yards from Nick Lockett. They had a chance on that last drive with a long play there, but after, I believe it was Aiden Davis with his second pass deflection of the night, saved a touchdown there on 2 drives ago for Mexico City.
Jeffrey Daggs on the return. There's a flag. In the last 6 plays of this game, Fort Worth has 14 points and Mexico City threw a pick. There's a face mask! Are you kidding me? That's a bingo, right?
That sure is a bingo. We got it with 30 seconds left in the game. We were looking for it. We got it, and that's a bingo.
That's amazing. That has got to be the latest in a game. Mark Lopez can tell us what the latest in a game we've had a bingo is. That is crazy. Ray Colston, $10 super chat. Congrats, Nacho and Tyler. Congrats, Nacho and Hacker. Tyler, where is Buck? Maybe that's coming up in post game. Jordan Sipe down the field, caught by Henry. Timeout, Mexico City. Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk have your first look at the matchups of the playoffs, the dates and times of those matchups, where you can catch it all. Coming up here on postgame with reaction to Fort Worth's likely win and securing of a first-round bye. That means, Paul, Baltimore's your 4 seed.
Wow.
Fort Worth's your 3 seed by virtue of their head-to-head win over Baltimore. As Sykes' pass is caught, that's more than 17. Surprised they didn't take the timeout right then. 15 seconds left.
Needed here on this play.
10 seconds. Sipe down the field. It's intercepted off the hands of Van Dam. Ben Stone takes it away. And the nightmare fourth quarter for the Aztecs is over.
And just not Mexico City unable to pull through there, and an unfortunately dropped pass there from the fullback allows Ben Stone to get his 9th interception on the season, tying Delaney Nash and Adam Leach for the lead and securing a first-round bye headed into the playoffs.
Thanks to our crew tonight, Ron Haynes, Mark Lopez on stats. Paul, we'll see you for the wild card round as Mexico City takes a timeout. That, I believe that, yep, we're going to Vancouver, Indy and Vancouver next week to kick off the playoffs. Can't wait to do it with you, partner.
Hey, it's going to be a great game. Both of those teams, heavy pass offenses, going to be a high-flying game, and can't wait to be there with you next week, Cam.
Fort Worth with a bye. Alamo City, welcome back to the playoffs as that puts a wrap on tonight's Impact Monday game. Don't go anywhere. Post-game coming up next with a playoff preview. Player of your game, too. Let's go.
Fort Worth gets it done as we have ourselves into the APM football post game, APM music post game, and Tyler, all of a sudden, things have been no clearer than they are right now. Through all the fog, we're finally here. The quarterfinals is in front of us. Give me your initial reactions to Fort Worth nailing it down defensively, able to keep Mexico City out of the air for the most part in this game. And Mexico City's playoff streak is over.
That is the biggest news out of all of this. Is one of the longest playoff streaks in SFL history is done. It will take someone a very long time to even replicate what Mexico City has done, but all things must come to an end. I alluded to it at halftime, Mr. Curtis, but Mexico City could not stop the pass. And when they desperately needed it the most, Cade Stevens seals the game. And that Fort Worth defense, they come alive right there at the end. They take care of business. They force mistakes out of the two-season quarterback, Jordan Sipe, and they close out a fantastic conclusion to this season. 38-27 your score line from Fort Worth inside of a Estadio Matt Wilson. Cade Stevens gets redemption for his demons in the most emphatic way possible. And Dunhill leads yet another 2-minute comeback drill drive to cinch Fort Worth's first round bye. And they deserve it. One of the youngest organizations takes down one of the oldest and most outstanding organizations in their own ground. What a job from the Toros. Toros in, Alamo City in, Mexico City out.
Unfortunate for Mexico City, but talking about Fort Worth before we go to the quarterfinal matchups. A lot of people forget Marcus Dunhill is an SFL champion. Won it with Atlanta back a few seasons ago. So he has been in high-pressure situations before. He shows that he can still get it done when it matters most. Congrats to the Fort Worth Toros and the Alamo City Artillery on getting in to the postseason bracket. Speaking of the bracket, let's get to the matchups. The first quarterfinal matchup starts at 6:30 p.m. That is Saturday, April 29th, and that is your NLSE game. It is Vancouver hosting Indianapolis. The 7-10 seed matchup is going to be on your screen at that point. You'll take a small preview into that as Vancouver looks to remain perfect in first-round playoff games.
And how about it, Curtis? It's a redemption game. We talked about Cade Stevens' redemption. How about Vancouver redemption? Indianapolis made Vancouver look silly early on this season. This is the game of the weekend already in the wild card. It's going to start off hot. This game is going to be must watch football.
Yeah.
They completely shut down Vancouver in all three phases of the game, whether it be offense, defense, or including special teams. Indianapolis was all over Vancouver. This game, I cannot get hyped enough for this game, as I was hyped up for Charleston, Carolina earlier this weekend. This game has all the makings of another classic as we are looking to close out season 20 with a bang. We are in for a treat to start off everything on NLSE.
Turn it up to 11 and rip the knob off. Your second quarterfinal matchup on Saturday is going to be Alamo City and Minnesota. That's your 5-12 matchup in the land of 1,000 lakes. That's going to be a good one. Minnesota is a bit reeling after their last week performance, and Alamo City hyped about getting in.
Another redemption game. Minnesota took down Alamo City in the great state of Minnesota. No, I might not have some affiliation with that state. I don't know. You're right. I never played. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong team. I have my entire offseason hub is a little wonky. No, they never played. Mexico City is the one who played in Alamo City and lost. What am I talking about? Anywho, regardless, Alamo City, Minnesota going to be a fantastic matchup. We know about Minnesota's defense and their consistency on offense. Just barely missing on a first-round bye. They'll look to take out their anger on Alamo City, who have snuck into the playoffs. Ace Fennick, another fantastic quarterback going up against that Minnesota defense. Should be fun to see.
London plays host to Las Vegas at Queensway in the first quarterfinal matchup on Sunday. That happens at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Vin Calia, Johnny Pickler, and the London Knights take on Las Vegas, who have been a Jekyll and Hyde team, but when things are on for Vegas, they are definitely on.
Speaking about flip-flops, London, also known as one of the most pass-heavy offenses, started to really get into the run game, especially last season. It's a running attack versus a pass-heavy attack in Las Vegas, where London knows all too well how to stop the pass. Las Vegas, London, another fun one to watch this weekend.
For the first time since the Challenger practically exploded, Carolina is in the playoffs. They play host. They have a home playoff game against the Tulsa Desperados, who were involved in one of the SFL Classic last night. That is your 8-9 matchup that happens at 9 p.m. Eastern Sunday. Give me your thoughts.
Welcome back to the playoffs, Carolina. You did your job. You had Indy help you out. You're back in. You have a tough task against Tulsa. Yes, they didn't look all 100% there last night when Tulsa took on Indianapolis, the team that helped you get into the playoffs. But this is going to be a fantastic matchup. Carolina, who has all of a sudden turned on the heat in the last couple weeks of the regular season, taking down Baltimore, and of course, taking down their rivals Charleston this past weekend. Tulsa, a little bit iffy going on to finish out here in the regular season, losing 3 straight. Seattle, Atlanta, Indianapolis to close out the regular season. Can they turn things around here in the wild card round? Should be a fun one to close out wild card weekend.
They got to do that inside the Carolina Pizza Kitchen, and Desperados are on order. There's no doubt about that. We are just about set through the quarterfinals. Your semifinals a week after that. That's Saturday, May 6th, all culminating with the 20th SFL Championship game, Friday, May 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Cameron Irvine and yours truly on the call for that one, along with many other different community members from the broadcast team. But every matchup except for the Vancouver-Indianapolis matchup is going to be exclusively on the SFL YouTube, and Vancouver-Indianapolis will be on Next Level Sports and the SFL YouTube. Check the Discord for listings and your local channel guide for listings on NLSE. For Tyler Falk, for Cameron Irvine, Paul Sarp, and the entire Impact Monday crew, this is the end of the All-Pro Football 2K8 regular season era for the Simulation Football League. We will see you for the playoffs in just a few days' time for Vancouver, Indianapolis, the 7-10 matchup. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Drive home safely.